Oh, same time?
All right, on three. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? JTC Boy coming at you with the Culture Stream podcast. Today, I'm joined by some beautiful indigenous people here, designer, influencers, models, some people that are doing some good things for our indigenous people out here. And we wanted to kind of dedicate this episode to indigenous people doing amazing things. And I have 5 with me in this room. And I'm going to go ahead and go around the table, let them introduce themselves. We have
Chanel.
Chanel, where are you from and tribes?
I'm Iroquois from the Seneca Nation in upstate New York.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Cece. I'm Chicana Indígena. I'm Yolemi from Arizona.
Nice. Oh, I actually will let you go last.
Hamba Inamedue. Hello, everyone. I'm Alyssa Songoy. I'm from Fallon, Nevada, and I am a proud member of the Fallon Paiute Shoshone tribe.
I'm Betuash Day, everyone. My name is Ira Hayok. I am MHA, and Lakota from here.
Nice. And finally, our person of the hour, kind of been trying to get with her to come on the podcast for a while. She's like, come to Bismarck. I said, no. She was like, yeah, we can craft. I was like, I only make drumsticks, but that was years ago. Nothing compared to what she could do. Well, I want to give a shout out to our very special guest, Miss. I'll let her introduce herself. I don't have to.
Hi, my name is Lauren Goodday. I'm a Rikara Hirata, an enrolled member of the Mandan Hirata Rikara Nation. I'm also Blackfeet and Plains Cree on my father's side. I'm an artist and a fashion designer.
Nice. Well, thank you for coming on the Culture Stream podcast. Awesome. Thank you all for coming on. I know you guys had a busy day. You guys had a shoot. You guys were hungry when you came in here. Ate about maybe 2 full buffalo.
I felt like though.
Yeah. I said, hey, where's the fruit? Where's the salad? Just straight.
No, we needed some meat.
Straight carnivore.
We needed sustenance and had a long day of modeling and shooting.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about the process. Let's talk about how it's all done, like the idea, who do you work with, just, things like that.
Yeah, so I have seasonal collections, all focused on my original artwork. So I always say I'm an artist first, and I was before I was a fashion designer. I do original ledger drawings, beadwork. I make traditional garments, mainly focusing on women's clothing, but I also do men's, cultural garments. I don't necessarily like to say they're traditional because I feel like as Native people, our culture is always living, breathing, it's evolving and it's changing. So I've always been a cultural artist since, childhood. Mm-hmm. I started doing beadwork when I was 6 years old, and it took me into making powwow regalia and also, working with different cultural items and traditional items such as rawhide parfleche, quill work, and on into ledger drawings. But I use my original art and I put it on clothing, ready-to-wear clothing. Basically, it's a wearable art print. And I feel like, taking my art from that level onto the wearable art made my artwork accessible to many. Whereas when I first started, my professional career in my early 20s, I was selling to different major museums and major art collectors. And so my art, and the whole reason why I did my art, it wasn't accessible to my own people. So I started making the wearable art, the ready-to-wear clothing, so that my own people could enjoy my art, because that's who I continued on our art forms for. But I'm a fashion designer and I have seasonal collections. And I'm lucky enough to have made some amazing friends that have joined me on my photo shoots. And I feel like the models that I get, they're all doing amazing things in their own rights. I try to get people that are role models, people that are doing major things within the community. So that's who I invited here today with us. We just happened to be at Four Bears Powwow, had a photo shoot today for the new summer 2025 collection. And I'm glad we could be here and join you.
Thank you so much. This is a treat for myself, all the listeners. And as you know, we haven't been doing the podcast for a minute, but I'm glad that we're able to come back with this episode. So many beautiful people here in this room, minus one, but no, just kidding. But yeah, let's kind of go around the table, talk about your experiences, influencer, lifestyle, things like that. Because we do have some people that have been hitting, I don't know, what's your followers on Instagram and all that?
Yeah.
How many do you have?
I think like collectively, like on all of my social medias, I think I have probably like 200,000. Like
That's pretty good. Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to brag, but
I know, like I'm trying. I'm gonna be humble. No.
Well, I think in terms of, you don't have to be that humble. 'Cause we're just like,
She's like, tell the truth.
we need your street cred. So, Cece Meadows is the founder of Prado Beauty, and I actually did a collab with her, a makeup collaboration. But she's done modeling, and she's an advocate for Indigenous people. So she's done a lot of really cool things.
Nice. Yeah, my daughter loves your makeup line.
Oh, thank you.
I have 2 teenage daughters, actually 3. And then 3, so I have 6 kids, 3 boys, 3 girls.
Aww.
But me and my companion, kind of like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
So, just a lot of mixing. We have our 2 together. But yeah, our girls are fans of your
Thank
makeup
you.
line.
That makes me so happy. I started off kind of like in the fashion world space, like backstage though. So I'm a professional makeup artist. I started off doing runway shows like at New York Fashion Week. And I didn't really see like a lot of Native or Indigenous representation backstage, whether it was like the makeup artist who was king or even the models. But then like we would have some designers who were always appropriating Native culture who wanted us to do like, you know, certain looks on people. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. You know, so it just kind of, I guess like a segue into creating Prados. Like I wanted there to be like authentic representation because I also have 2 daughters. And like growing up, you didn't really see, you know, my aunt would come home from college and she'd bring all like her Cosmo magazines and, you know, all of those big 80s hair, you know, like those magazines. I never saw like Black or brown people in those magazines. And so when I had my daughters, I was just kind of like, I want to create something that they could see themselves in. And so when I hear that your like daughters wear makeup and stuff like that makes my heart like really, really happy because I made it with them in mind, that they would see themselves, that they could wear something that, you know, was either designed or in collaboration with another Native or Indigenous person. And that, you know, I guess there's different like cultures and subgroups that they get to say like, oh, this is made for us, or, you know, and to be able to do that in this space, I think that, you know, it creates a segue also that opens up doors and collaborations with other people to be able to wear the makeup, whether it's like a model or an artist, you know, who makes things to pair with clothes or, you know, like it just all comes together. So the collaboration with Lauren was really special to me. And we got some pretty good news about that. Another thing, like being able to create makeup is also like take it to retail. So being like the first Chicana Indígena like beauty brand to go into retail in the US, I think that that's a responsibility, not just to our people, but like to the world, to show them that that's possible and like what that representation looks like. So the collaboration with Lauren, we came out with it 2 years ago for our Indigenous Peoples Day collection. And I think you should say it. You should talk about it. You should talk about that.
Would this be like exclusive? Like nobody knows about it?
No, we launched it for Indigenous Peoples Day 2 years ago.
The collection is launched, but I guess the big news is, so Cece, her Prado Beauty is already in JCPenney's nationwide, but our collaboration, our collaboration, the mini palettes are going to be launching in JCPenney's nationwide as well. So that's coming up in June.
Yes.
So excited.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I really feel that some of the beauty of being entrepreneurs with like-minded entrepreneurs is being able to share opportunities together and also learning from each other. I feel like Cece and I's collaboration, it was an ethical collaboration. I feel so many times these non-native companies come into our craft workers, our people, our creatives, and they'll take advantage of them because even me as a first generation entrepreneur, I've had to learn some hard lessons, dealing with businesses and doing collaborations. But with my collaboration with Cece, everyone was paid fairly. I was paid for the art. I'm paid per item sold. And I feel like, really finding these good people that we have on our sides, on our teams, and we eventually work with and collaborate with and represent our brands it's amazing because we get to share in the success, we get to help in the success and help raise our people. So yeah, we're really excited about the going in JCPenney's with my part of the collaboration. She's been there, but it's gonna be amazing. This will be my first time in major retail. I've done other collaborations with Manitoba Mukluk, Sackcloth and Ashes, but this is the first time going in retail.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, and it's all about representation. And I feel like, having her talk about the little girls or the people that wear our stuff or wear her makeup, that's also what I feel. It's about the representation of our own people. And like I've said before, I create my wearable art and I create my art first and foremost for my people. And I want my people to feel represented. I want them to feel that they're a part of this. And that's why I choose the models that I do. Choosing people that are good people that are doing amazing things within their communities. We have Ira here. He's a Marine. He just danced in this veteran special last night, and I told him how cool he looked. He had his war bonnet on that he earned from being a warrior.
It's powerful.
Right.
Yeah. And then, we have another entrepreneur here who is a bead worker. Alyssa does amazing beadwork with a huge social media following. People
thank
love
you.
her. They love her. They love her little family.
Yes.
But, that's part of the reason why, I choose the models that I do is because I want to give light to, what they're doing. And I want young people to see that what we're doing is possible, that you can remain cultural people and that you can still be tied to your communities and do work within your communities, but yet still be entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in that because that's how, kind of a backstory about Culture Stream. So the idea behind Culture Stream was to have our own indigenous representation as far as music. I've been doing music for 20 plus years, producing, recording, all that thing. And one of the things that I've noticed about Native artists and drum groups is that some of them don't even know how their music is on these streaming platforms.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Right.
And there's do we get paid for that? Well, if you have your representation, but they find out that they have given all their rights to a company.
Right.
And to me, it's just that's not right.
It's robbery.
Exactly. It's just like a piece of artwork where it's just you make it, but then someone else prints a T-shirt of your artwork and they're making all the money, but you don't get nothing. That's not fair.
Yeah.
And the reason why Culture Stream was a big thing for me is because I wanted to represent our people, represent our drum groups, our Native artists, and just show that, hey, we are capable. We can do the things. We can use the technology for our advantage.
Right.
And that's the thing about it, was to say I had a streaming platform up for about 6 months, the Culture Stream app. And it was doing good. We had a lot of downloads and stuff, but the downfall was that something like that, you have to have a continuation revenue stream. Yeah. And unfortunately, we didn't meet that mark. So we had to kind of let that go. But that is the dream to kind of do. And now a lot of people are just we have Apple, we have Spotify. Things about those is that there's no native representation. Right. The people that curate these playlists, they're not Native American people. It's just they type in keyword, how y'all were talking about AI.
AI, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is it like pretty much all they do is like Native American artists?
Right.
Boom.
Yeah.
And you look at it like these streaming platforms, we don't even have our own genres.
Right.
You know, there's no NAC, there's no Northern, Southern, Contemporary, like things like that. Things that really put us in our own world, our own place. And that's why I always tell people is just with technology and everything, like connect with the world, connect your culture to the world.
Right.
So that way everybody understands that we are still here. We are capable. And a lot of people think like, you know, well, they come from teepees, what more do they know? And it's just like, hey,
More than you know.
there's kivas,
Right.
there's longhouses, there's other things out there. But that's just the simple things is we're trying to expand the minds along with the world. And that's what I really believe about, you know, self-representation, and y'all are doing it. You guys are
The
a
ripple
big part of it.
effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
I think the other is like important. We talk about this a lot about like what we're doing in our space, like and how that's like transforming the narrative of what we look like. You know, and Laura and I have like long conversations about breaking that, like I would say like generational ideology that wasn't created for us, like retail being from, you know, being one of them, but that rolls over into every single type of thing that you're trying to touch. And I think that half the time, like we spend our conversations trying to figure out how do we make ourselves be seen in this bigger world where they put us in boxes, you know?
Yeah.
And even for us, like I'm Chicana, I'm Indígena, I spend half, like 95% of my time trying to convince people or remind people that we are Native. Like we're not white Mexicans, you know, like we've been here. And so trying to bridge that gap and create representation for Indigenous and Native people is like the forefront of what we do. And once you're able to break that stigma or those, you know, learnings or teachings and dismantle those things, I think that that unity, you know, because we're all represented here from different nations and different people and different backgrounds, but yet our commonality is that we all have love for the same thing, and that's our culture, that's our people, that's the things that we create. And so when you're able to do things like that, take what Lauren's created, put it on a box, put it in retail, and show the world like, hey, we're not people of the past, and we are smart, and we are business women, and you can do things ethically, morally. You know, when we were doing our contracts, I kind of let Lauren be out in the water a little bit. I threw her a little life raft, and I was like, go ahead and read this contract. Tell me what you think about it. She's like, yeah, what did I sign? And I'm like, no. Like, you're not just going to sign that. I was like, that's the problem, like, in our community, is that you read something, you think it looks really good, but my attorney and I, we were just kind of like, let's just see what she, you know, it was a teaching moment for her.
Yeah.
Because I had already been doing contract work. I'd already been doing consulting work with other artists who were signing contracts. And I was just kind of like, no. I remember texting her and I was like, take a look at it again.
Yeah, I looked at it. I was ready to sign. And she's like, are you sure? And then you're like, just ask for more. And I was like, fine. But the other thing is, too, is I feel like, you know, we're coming into this world, like when I had first started, I got taken advantage of by a non-Native company that was working with Native people for my artwork. They took my art, paid me $500, and I still to this day, I do not know the numbers of how much they produced with fabric and blankets. I don't know the numbers. I don't know how much money they made, but I know I made $500. But I know that they did well off in this business, which they no longer own. So, I mean, when I was working with Cece, she was like, ask for more from her.
Ask more from
I
me.
did. Professional, I wrote in my little email. I was like,
Her counter
I would
offer.
like to ask for more. So, but she knew it was coming, and that's what she wanted me to do anyways. But that also really gave me the confidence to work with other companies. When I had first talked to her, I did some work with Lenovo, and they had given me an amazing offer to begin with. And she was like, ask for more.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? It was good to begin with. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And she's like, ask for more. I asked for more, and it was almost double.
Yeah.
And what was so good about working with that company is that they actually gave back to our people. They gave back to the MHA Nation language department. They donated, I believe it was 12 laptops, which they still use to this day within the community. So that's part of the other thing that I think with Indigenous entrepreneurs, artists, and creatives, that if you're going to work with non-natives, make sure that they're also giving back. Yes, pay you, but make sure that they're also giving back to your community as well. So I feel like with Cece and I, she's taught me a few things, gives me the confidence to say, ask for more. And we were just talking with Chanel.
Chanel, yeah.
Because Chanel, so going back to representation, I do feel that Indigenous people, we're all different. We come in different shades. We have different mixed lineage. Even me, I'm like a product of the Plains. I'm Arikara, Hidatsa, part Mandan, Blackfeet, Plains Cree. I have some Ojibwe. I have some Dakota blood from Fort Peck and Standing Rock. And so like, I'm a mix of the Plains, but I feel like even us as people, we're mixed with different ethnicities. But Chanel, she's a beautiful native model, quote unquote, but she's also comes from mixed heritage as well.
Yeah. My father's Dominican.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's a baddie.
I know. She's a
like
baddie.
all the way around. But yeah, like even, her, like she's modeling, she's getting contracts, and she's like, what do you think? And I'm just like, no.
They've helped me a lot with that because I don't have the confidence to like
tell them your rate.
Yeah, literally.
I'm like, send me all your best photos. I'm going to put a rate sheet together for you. What's a rate sheet? I'm like, no. Like these are, but these are things that I had to learn.
It's definitely like a learning experience.
Yeah. And I'm
we
just
all
like, what?
just help each other
Right.
along the way. Even myself as a beater, I've told Lauren some of the prices that I put out for myself, and she was like,
No.
girl, like, what? You should be like asking way more, and so that's definitely something I've learned as an artist as well. It's
hard.
It's hard, but it's just a learning
humility
experience.
part of it.
Yeah, we're
true.
very
like-
humble people.
Yeah, we're very humble.
It's like, what can you
Very,
really say?
very.
Like, what am I worth?
Right.
You know?
I also just enjoy doing it, so that's part of
Yeah, exactly.
it can get clouded with how much you're really worth if you really like doing it.
And if people really do appreciate and value you like they should, then it's just like from the top, it should be something, that would at least be agreeable.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. But we all know that the world out there, the cheaper we can get it, the better.
Right.
Yeah.
I think like me, I was really lucky. I started working in the corporate world like at a really young age. And I'm like first in my family to graduate, like go to college and do all the things. And so I was like really just steadfast on learning anything and everything that I could from anybody who would teach me, and like taking that and implementing it into, business, friendships, relationships with like my friends and the things that they're passionate and what they do. I think that that's the thing that's going to make our communities and our people be more successful. There's so much gatekeeping in our communities. Like they don't think that you can go out and become friends and be an advocate for somebody else. There's always like this crabs in the bucket type thing. And I always talk about community over competition. The moment that we stop competing with ourselves and with other people and looking at people as competition, tearing that like mentality away and saying, okay, look, you have a skill. Nothing happens to me if you sign a really good contract and you make some money and create generational wealth for your family. I get to walk away and sleep at night knowing that I can help you do something and make that available to people, but also that you can get paid and be respected for your work. Because as Native and Indigenous people, we didn't barter or do things for money. We did it to survive, right? Like, and so even now in contract work, quote unquote, it's the same thing. If you don't charge the right amount or if you don't get compensated, like you don't eat, and who suffers? Not the person who's making you sign the contract, you do. Because you just gave away a piece of yourself, your art, your heart, your people, and like you should be compensated for that. So I always tell Chanel, I'm like, well, what are you going to charge? She's like, well, and I'm like, no, it's a no for me, girl. Like, we need to rework.
So yeah.
Ira's probably sitting over there like, Lauren, I'd like to be paid more for this.
Yeah.
Since we just finished.
He's like, I'd like to
I
rework.
want more for this photo shoot.
Iris, you guys get paid?
I was gonna piggyback off what Alyssa said. She actually had this. She actually had a comment on one of her recent Facebook posts. Someone was accusing her of using AI because her beadwork is very, very intricate, and they accused her of using AI to like kind of like color in those little spots. Yeah.
Like I couldn't, like, to me as an artist, when I read that comment, it felt like you can't be great. You know, it was like just downgrading what I had put out there from my heart, you know, from my own imagination. And it was like, no, like just everyone, you know, it's just fake, it's AI. You know, think of it as you could just easily put it into
bead by numbers.
Bead by numbers, you know, just.
And again, I think that's back to the crabs in the bucket. Like,
yes,
they gotta
it
bring you
is.
down in somehow, some way. And I feel like even me, I get comments like that too.
Yeah, and I didn't even know there was an app for that. So.
Well, it's easier to hit a target when it's bigger.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
You guys are doing something amazing. And the competition mindset, the thing of is like, I could do it better. It's like, yeah, you can. But
You should try.
Yeah.
You should try.
Do it.
and
You should try.
There's nothing wrong with trying or reaching out for help. It's just like, me, I'm always interested in people coming up and saying, you know, because we do live stream at Powell's too. I got my little brother on. Like, I didn't even know he could do any of this stuff. But one day he was just like, let's try a live stream. So he showed me what he could do. And I was like, damn, well, what do you think about doing live streams for because we used to do podcast live streams. And then he was just like, yeah. So he kind of set it up. I was like, okay, what do we need? And then he's like, we need this, we need that. And he's been my guy ever since. Yeah. And then we started doing powers. He brought on his homeboy. And man, those two, I just got to do the sound. I just got to plug in the mic and we're good. But having that help, having people that want to push you to the next level, it's just, it puts you in a place where it's just like, man, like, what if we could all do this?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Rather than sitting there saying, you know, I could do it better. It's just like, yeah, you probably can. You know, I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm not familiar with all the technology, but it's like, I know, like, even my gear here is from like 2004.
But it gets the job done. So
exactly. And it's just, I was always taught, you know, work with what you have.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure we all were.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, you don't need the best for the best.
Right.
It's just like, you make the best what you can do with it.
Yeah.
we were teasing Ira because he's like new, like he's, you know, he just got out of the military or he's just in the reserves now. He used to be active and like now he's like trying to segue into what he's doing. And like he's asking us questions all day about like being an influencer or a model or like, you know, and so.
Cece actually had a video of him that went viral today.
Yeah.
On Memorial Day of him dancing yesterday in his war bonnet and his military uniform. It was amazing, but it's been shared over how many times now?
I haven't checked it, but like
the
earlier.
last time we checked, it was like.
It's got like 400 shares, but I think it's got more now. It's got like almost 90K views or 100K views now.
Yeah.
But it's like what I started off like being an influencer like over 12 years ago and creating, it's got 113K views and
You don't pull your phone away
512. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
It's got like,
it's too close to a wire.
oh, my bad. Sorry. No, it's got like 113K views. It's been shared already like a whole bunch of times.
She just posted
I just posted it this morning.
It's crazy because my brother actually sent me that video.
Oh, did he?
Because
Yeah.
we actually sang for that veteran special last night.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I know. I should tag you guys. No, but it was like that thing. I have a skill. I have a camera, an iPhone. And I was telling Chanel, I was like, I was so like insecure going and like scared, like going and positioning myself to get like a good shot of this. I was like, but it was all worth it because one, I was like really emotional watching him dance. I was emotional watching his mom record him watching him dance. And it's like, why would you not want to show that small part of the beauty of what, you know, your people do during, you know, that time to represent, but also to honor. Like, why would you not take a skill that you have, which is to make videos and to go stand and be really close to, you know, to what's being shown authentically and then tag him? Like, it
That's
didn't
what we
cost
do to help
you.
each other. That's how we
Yeah.
uplift each other.
Right.
That's what's so needed.
And he's like, I'm trying to be a
We were
model.
teasing him.
And
We were like, you're going to be an influencer now.
yeah, I'm like,
He's
you're
official.
You're official. You're in, Ira. Everyone's going to know you. All 200K of all these girls who love makeup.
When she was taking that video yesterday, she's like, I'm going to post it tomorrow for Memorial Day. I was like, oh, that's a good video. Like when you're on social media, you kind of think of like everything is content.
Yeah.
But it's also like showing light to this part of our culture that a person that doesn't go to powwows or isn't familiar with how we honor our warriors, they wouldn't have known that. And it was like a real authentic moment.
Right.
And I was like, that is super good content, but it really does show like, you know, who we are as a people and what we value and who we value.
Right. Yeah, because like me, I'm a male spouse. My husband's in the Army. He's deployed. When I saw them come out with like their uniforms and their regalia and their like his headdress and stuff, I was just like, how powerful is that on Memorial Day, when you think about what you're celebrating, who are you really memorializing? And you think about all of the other people, but 9 times out of 10, it's not memorializing our people, our relatives, the sacrifices that we've made, that we're still making. And so to see like Ira, he's young and like still honoring where he comes from and the thing that he did, which is to serve his time. Like you take that authenticity and you share it with the world because that's real life. That's our real life.
Yeah.
And so when you show that to people, it can not go viral because it's authentic. It moves people. And so every commonality in this room is that we want people to see who we are and not what you think. We're not from a history book. We're not, people that died. We've gotten so many comments, like we filter out things sometimes because it's hateful. And when people are like, oh, you're deleting comments, you're damn right we're deleting comments. We're not here for you to down talk us. You're not here to play with our mentality of,
Well, you just don't want people to see the negative. You just want people to see the positive.
And our social media is our space.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get control over our pages, our spaces. We're not going to let people disrespect us.
Yeah. It's like a drama-free zone. Like, you just say, like, this is a drama-free zone. Like, you come here for love. You come here for light. You come here for, the beauty of who we are as people. You come here to discover, models and, like, people who are out here doing big things, too, with us. And, like, there's room for everybody in this space, but, like, you need to come with the right attitude and the right heart at the same time.
Yeah, that's so true. And, Ira, how does that make you feel, knowing that you have all this support that's got your back?
I'd say from the one with the least amount of followers, I think that feels really good. I appreciate all the experiences I've had. Lauren asking me to model on multiple occasions. I still get the same feeling as the first time last March when she first asked me. It's always an honor to do that and work with great people who have such a big following and are putting out that positive message to our communities and kind of like leading by example in a way. And that's how I see it. I'm still fairly new to this. These ladies have been doing this, I'm sure, a while. But yeah, I'm just grateful for all of it, all the experience. It's really kind of builds me up to potentially one day put me in their shoes with what they're doing. So yeah, I'm grateful for it all.
Nice.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is what I love about Lauren's shoots and even her shows and stuff, it's always such good energy. And like
really
I always
is.
leave feeling like really, really good. So like if I'm having bad days, like I look forward to coming to the shoots with Lauren because it's just like all the people she has in her circle, all the other models, everything, like very good. I don't know the words, but it's just like a
Positivity.
good feeling.
Yeah.
We compliment on what we're wearing, how we're
Yeah.
walking.
And I've made such good friends in just
Good
one
connections.
year too.
Yeah.
Like lifelong friends.
It's funny because like last time we were together, we were here and we were painting crates at like midnight. And like we were working, but it didn't feel like you were working. Like it's just like you're you know, spending time with each other. You're talking about like your communities. You're talking about her res, and I'm talking about like my pueblo, like, you know, talking
our
about
families,
our families.
babies,
yeah,
the
like,
ones who we're doing it for,
right?
Our babies.
You're just spending time together, like building community within your friendship, and honestly, like also teaching. Like Lauren, I'll text her. I'm texting her in Spanish, and she's like, "What is that?" And I'll send her a voice note. I was like, "This is how you say it, and this is what it means." And you know, it's just kind of like a like permanent cultural exchange, like built-in friendship. You know, and like Chanel, she's Dominicana, and so it's just like sharing that part of like, you know, commonalities that we have, and then sharing that stuff with Lauren, and then sharing it with Alyssa, and even Aria today is like, you know, our little comments and how we talk and stuff. Like that is the beauty of being able to create like friendship and deepness in that. And so you become protective of that. And so when we're at fashion shows or she's doing something, it's like you need to make sure you know who's modeling for you. You know, you do a like a deep background check, you know, because you're creating a space where you're not just wearing her clothes, like you're representing like Native and Indigenous people. There's a lot of photographers and our friends who write about like events and stuff like that. And so if we're just not putting out the best part of ourselves all the time, like that is a reflection, right? So
yes, reflection was
right. So you want to.
It really is a community too. And I feel like we all have our communities and that we all support each other. We help each other out. We think of ideas like, how can we collaborate? How can we, you know, use our skills that we have, our modeling skills? What can we do together? How can we rise as a people and as a community?
Yeah.
And I always leave with more motivation to like put into myself, into my social media, like more ideas. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's talk about kind of something that might be a little bit on the outside looking in. But who really is the target market for Lauren Good Day? Like, how would you feel if you see non-Native people wearing your clothing?
So I always say I create first and foremost for our people, but non-Native people can wear my ready-to-wear because I feel that if they want to support Indigenous design, it's best to support actual Indigenous artists and businesses first and foremost. That's cultural appreciation versus cultural appropriation and buying from non-Native companies that appropriate our designs and iconography. So I by far say that my customers, the people that have supported me, that have built me, my business and artwork to where it is, are Indigenous people. And I'm always so grateful when I see my work worn in communities. Like, it's amazing. Like, we just went to the powwow and I seen a number of people wearing my designs from a distance. And, you know, whenever I see them, we seen two little boys run by with my T-shirts on. My uncles actually wore the same fit. They had the same shirt on yesterday.
Shout out to them.
Yeah. But it's really amazing to see my work worn in communities. I've seen a number of times, like, people will text me and they'll text me
even
pictures
the concert.
of random people.
We went to
we
went to a concert.
SZA and Kendrick Lamar
in Minneapolis.
And we look over and there's a guy literally wearing Lauren's shirt.
Yeah, a button-up star shirt.
Yeah.
That was so cool. We were like, guys.
That was
like,
cool.
Whoa,
He didn't see me,
so
but I was like recording him.
Not creepy.
Yeah, not creepy at all, but just more like celebrating it.
Well, that's cool. I mean, the fact that you're celebrating rather than being offended by it, that means a lot, because you probably wouldn't be offended with it. You'd be celebrating it, but you know dang well somebody's gonna be like, "Oh,
always
you can't wear that."
Yeah,
you know,
always.
But it goes the same as beadwork. You do beadwork as well.
I feel this exact same way. It is for my people. You know, my purpose was, you know, for my people. But if it goes beyond that, I also appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's say somebody offers non-native, says, I will pay you.
And I've gotten messages, I've gotten messages, and I'm just so thankful that my art's being able to, be purchased like from me, that it's not, in another country or, copied work, things like that.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to support the artist directly from them. Collaborations are cool, but if you really want to support an artist, support them directly. Buy directly from them, directly from their website or directly from their social media. I feel like that, because for sure that directly goes back to their communities, to their community ecosystem, and to their families. Because what I always try to do after I've had a really successful launch is, I give back to my community as well. And I don't ever announce it, but if you see like all the moccasins, the tack belts that I use, and even some of the accessories, I pay artists to create those, and I tag them within my social media as well. But it's my way of giving back to other artists, because I feel that we do have an Indigenous economy, we do have an Indigenous ecosystem, and that it's important that we give back to our people. And I'm always consciously thinking about that. Even when I'm on the res, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get gas from this gas station because our tribe owns it.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that. Even with my beadwork, I'm purchasing beads from my grandma, who sells beads. And I'm, buying buckskin from, local community members. So, it just, like I said, the ripple effect, it affects everybody. And it's important to support directly from those artists, because you never know who else it is helping. Right.
True. And I guess social media nowadays, everything can get out there. Just like you said, Ira blowing up with your video. I mean, how do you guys feel about like non-natives when they lip sync along with like Fawn Wood or old powwow music or things like that?
I just saw Willow Smith do. Yeah, she was singing one of Fawn's songs and she tagged her in it. And I think sometimes
if it's done in a good way.
Yeah, if it's done in a good way, it's respectful.
Recognition, acknowledgement is very important.
I always tell people, I'm like, if it doesn't, it shouldn't bother you to go buy some turquoise, like especially in New Mexico and Arizona. You see a lot of like the rodeo like scene, and they can go get their stuff at freaking Buckle and, at a Boot Barn. But
I love Boot Barn.
I love Boot Barn for my boots, but like I always like side eye the jewelry part, because it's like I know someone personally who makes that same exact thing, and you're not buying it from them. You're mass producing it somewhere else when you could just buy it from that person. But there are like big names in the music industry and fashion that actually honor and respect and buy things from actual natives, and then like tag them and ask people, please, like respectfully, support these, native indigenous entrepreneurs, because they're just trying to feed their families. Yeah. And so like when Willow did that video, she tagged Fawn, and I know like Fawn went and made like a big old social media post because she was excited. Like I don't think sometimes we understand how big our reach is. We think that we're just small, and it's like, no, our reach is culturally, like people literally, especially right now, a lot of Chicanos and, the immigration type stuff, and people are getting deported, and U.S. like born people are getting deported. And it's just like, they love our culture. They love our food. They love our music. They love all of the things, but they don't love us. Like, that's a hard thing to live with. And it's the same thing for Native and Indigenous people. They love the music. They love the powwows. They love our beadwork. They love our designs. But like, do they really love us? And so I think that when you can respectfully share that you do, that begins to dismantle a lot of conversations, and then you start digging deeper. That's the gift of social media. You can go down a TikTok rabbit hole so quickly just by an idea or something that you saw that was sparked because somebody big tagged you one time.
Yeah.
And I think that like that is so important. There's like a responsibility for us to be able to do that for each other. But like, you know, even Chanel, like, she models and stuff, like, when she's tagging people, like, half the stuff that's in my cart recently is just because of the stuff that she tags.
For real. She's for reals legit influencer. She influenced me a number of times. So we just had a fashion show in Santa Fe and she's wearing this shapewear. She's been doing a lot of shapewear gigs. She came out and her body was bodying. And I was like,
what is that?
Did you get a BBL?
Give me the link right now.
And then she's like, it's this shapewear. And I was like, consider me influenced.
Yeah, for real.
It's funny.
That's like the thing about our people too. Like, you know, I tell Lauren all the time, we've been working on like a special formula for a minute now. And she's like, when's it going to be ready? And I'm like, look, ma'am, if we put out basura, like our aunties are going to be the first ones to cancel us because one, we don't like spending money and it being trash. And two, like they don't like spending money and it not being something that you can look at and say, oh, this is native indigenous made. Like you have to come with the thing that you're saying that you're going to make and it has to be great.
We're working on another collaboration.
Yeah, we're working on something else.
It's in the works.
It's in the works. It's going to be like amazing. But at the same time, it's like, why can't you go to Chanel's page and watch what she's doing and be influenced in a way that when you buy something like that, you know it works. Like there's so much, there's a lot of influencers out there who will say anything for money, inauthentic things for money. But when you know that like it's an influencer that you can trust, I feel like in our communities, it's really hard to be an influencer and not tell the truth. Like you can't just take money. Right. Like Chanel's never put anything out there. She's like, you know what, guys?
Exactly. Yeah.
She'll text us like, I just got an offer. I cannot accept it because this is trash. Like, like everybody's watching. You better not, you know?
Well, it's like on reservations, there's always that one grandma or auntie makes the bomb-ass Indian tacos. And it's just like once they had that sale, boom, everybody's going there. And the next person be like, hey, I'm having a sale. And it's just like, next time. Next time I got you. You know?
Yeah.
But that's exactly what it's like. It's just having people inspiring and being a representation of our own people to kind of connect. And it's all about connection. And like I said, you know, we're using what separates us guys from the world is that we have our culture, is that we have our identity. And a lot of people are jealous of that in a sense because the ones that you're talking about that are deporting are people loving our culture, food, and all that. They're probably the ones saying, but I'm not a racist, though.
Exactly.
They're the first ones to say that, but like really you are. Because you're not standing in the gap for us. You're actually contributing to the thing. And so
our own people are out there sitting there voting for Trump, like, oh, he's going to make America better. And it's just like, why?
What has he done?
Exactly. And that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
Whole different subject. We ain't going to get on that.
It's like we're just politic free zone. Don't get us started.
Positivity here.
Positivity. But yeah, I mean, going back, that's an example of, you know, people just close-minded, small-minded, not able to kind of see the world bigger than what's in front of them. And it just sounds like when you talk about your creativity, ideas, it's like you don't say like, oh, it's just arm length away. You know, you're reaching beyond
that's
that.
like that in the modeling world too, though, that a lot of obstacles because like that standard model look of being over 5'8" or whatever and or 5'11" and tall and skinny, that's like, I feel like it's 2025 now. Like
that's not us. I'm a short, thick baddie.
Yeah. But that's why I appreciate Lauren as well because she's here for all bodies.
Yeah.
I'm inclusive. I want the people that wear my work and buy my work, support me, to feel represented and to see themselves within the work. And that's also why I get models that are multi-tribal from different areas, is because yes, my work is centered around my artwork, which is very plains oriented, but I want Native people to know that they can identify with my artwork as well. And also why I use, in the fall collection, I had a horse ledger art print. And I feel like the horses always go amazing for me, but it's because so many Indigenous people and even Western people, we have a connection with the horses. But I try to make my art still authentically me, but also let people feel represented and let people have a connection to the artwork as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then the beautiful faces that get to wear it.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, we sent out 150 PR boxes and we shipped them all over the world. They weren't just in the US. They weren't just to my people. They weren't just in, Lauren's people. We literally shipped these huge PR boxes, cost hundreds of dollars, sending them to Canada and sending them to Mexico, sending them to New Zealand, to the Maori people, sending them to indigenous people all over the world because, yeah, it's a plains, design and Lauren's from MHA Nation and stuff like that. But you want people to know that where this is a time right now where you're creating community and you're creating togetherness. And so being able to work with different indigenous people and see them represented on runway, you get to sleep at night better knowing you did that. You didn't have to do something that was strictly for this one person, or for this one subtype. You could say, I'm best friends with, somebody from the East Coast, and I'm best friends with somebody from, the desert, and I'm best friends from somebody who's, from Mexico, or you could say all of those things, but at the same time, you're also doing work with them to represent them well. If I was to put out a video and it's I was on the MHA Nation this weekend and it just wasn't the very best video, you're now dishonoring your friend by not showing the very, not just that it's the very best part, but it's the most authentic, beautiful part of who they are. You want the world to see that part.
Yeah.
And so I think that, being friends with Chanel and Alyssa and Lauren and Ira, you're constantly walking with that mindset that you don't just represent yourself, you represent other people too. And so you better be real careful about what you say, what you post. And
your reputation means everything.
Right.
Whatever you put out into the world will come back to you. And that's, what I feel with my friend group. Whatever good I put into this, I'm investing in this friend group. And so much good has come back to me. So much good has come back to me. I love it.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much blessing in being a good person and living by your traditional values. And those are the type of people that I like to surround myself with, because I feel like when you're a good person and put good out into the world, you get so much blessings back. And I feel like that's a big part of my success, because people always say, how did you do it? And I said, well, I worked hard, but, I keep positive. And I always say, I manifested it, because I do. Whenever I'm creating and I'm working on a drawing, I'm like, this is going to be so beautiful. And when it's done, I'm going to put it on a skirt or a shirt, and people are going to love it, and it's going to sell. And therefore, I'm going to be able to come back and pay my mortgage and pay for the food on the table. So I'm always constantly manifesting positivity, and I surround myself with positive people. And I think that's how we are, as a group. We don't want no drama. We don't want no mess. We just want good things.
My environment is so important. Even when I bead, I have to listen to good music. My son has to be in the room with me. He gives me so much love, inspiration, happiness. I have my bead wall, and it has all of the colors, all my beads, all the rainbow, from red all the way to black and everything. And I have a really good light source. And with working with Lauren and being around these people, I actually, it feels like I'm in my craft room, because I'm surrounded by such good energy. It's the people that I want, in my corner, supporting me, continuing to love me. So that's just, my environment really affects what I put out into the world. Eating, modeling, representing my community. It's all tied together. Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry. I was on a phone call from my mom. She's probably like, where are you?
We're on a podcast.
We're doing a podcast, Mom. Even her mom was trying to tell her to jump on the podcast.
She's like
I do say, the reason why I am the way I am is because of my mother. I feel like as we got older, we butt heads, just because I feel like I'm really stepping into my role as a matriarch as well. But the reason why I am the way I am is my mom. She's definitely who grounded me and who, you know, taught me our values and made me who I am today. And she's why, you know, I've been sober all my life. She's the reason why I powwow and I dance with my children still. And she's the reason why I am who I am and how I got here. So thanks, Mom, for giving me a call. I feel like she's always a constant reminder.
Shout out to Mom.
Yeah.
To your mom. Yeah.
Well, everything has been amazing with your guys' journey, career, everything.
Just getting started, though.
Yeah, we have so much more to do.
Yeah.
Still got a whole mountain to climb, but hopefully we got the right gear just to make that ascension north.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the questions I wanted to ask was, would you ever want to see yourself at like the Met Gala? Someone reaching out to you as like a designer, how they reach out to like Louis Vuitton, all these other designers. Someone exclusive said like, hey, Lauren, would you be able to make me a gown for the evening or something like that?
In terms of being in big spaces, for sure. But in terms of the Met Gala, I feel like a lot of people don't realize or fully know what the Met is. So it's the designers that buy the tables and they ask the celebrities or the people, they ask to dress them. And so for me at this level, I'm not at that level to buy a table and be dressing people. Maybe
Not
one
yet.
day.
Would that be the goal?
Not yet.
I mean, I'll go anywhere. I feel like if the creator intends me to be at that level, yes. But if the creator wants me where I'm at to inspire a youth and be working within the communities, that's fine with me too. I feel like I'm living out my dream right now. And I've had some great collaborations. I've met amazing people along the way. So, you know, I'm open to it, but I'll always, you know, be one with my people. I feel like, you know, the reason why a lot of people will talk about, oh, when I make it, I'm going to move here. I'm going to do this. But for me, you know, I've lived away. I lived in Santa Fe, New Mexico for a number of years. I lived in South Dakota. But I mean, my goal was never to live in a big city. My goal was to be amongst my people and raise my children in culture within our communities, to know their community. So I feel like, yeah, if I go that big, I would do it, but I don't plan on moving. I want to live within my traditional homelands. But I mean, sky's the limit. I think that, you know, Indigenous people can do big and major things. And, you know, I'm only the start of it. And I feel like all of our generation, like right now we're talking about, like, you didn't know about this coming into it, but you're still, you know, you're such a founding member of what you're doing with your podcast. You're going to inspire other younger people to get involved. Doing beadwork, you know, you're going to inspire people. Being a warrior, you're continuously inspiring our young men to be good young men. And I feel like all of us, we all play a big role within our people, and sky's the limit. So what we do within our generation, I feel like the next generation, it's only going to get bigger and greater.
Yeah. And we wouldn't let her not do it. I'd be like on a plane here just to drag her out the house.
I mean, if somebody wants me to do accessories for them, I think a lot of people, yeah, I do a lot of the ready to wear, but I think they forget that I'm a traditional artist.
Yeah.
Like I
She
can
makes
lead, I can
everything.
quill, I can make these
I feel
traditional
like you showed
garments.
people this year though, like with what you made for Amber and for River, like I think you showed people you could do that.
That's where I began. And like, I feel like they just think of me as like, oh, you just make a bunch of ready to wear clothing. But it's like, no, I can actually make these garments.
Yeah, no.
It's like, I don't necessarily have the time to make a garment for everybody and a dress for everyone because I'm only one person. But yeah.
No, she made all our accessories today for the photo shoot.
Yeah.
And she's,
Our earrings.
our earrings. And, you know, she's always making stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing now? At
Yeah,
like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Or for her
Actually,
kids,
this last-
Yeah. All of, you know,
outfits.
hakas and the girls' stuff, like the ribbon skirts. Oh, well, we were here last time. She was making a ribbon skirt like at 2 o'clock in the morning. And we're like, girl, we're waking up in
wear
like
to the
5
shoot the
hours.
next day.
Yeah, we're like, you need to go to sleep.
Yeah.
She's like, I will when I'm done with the skirt. And I'm just like, what, like, show people that you're like an actual, like you're a real artist. Like you make your stuff. And there's just like so much like background and conversation where, you know, people just, I feel like when people know they can't get to you personally, they will start attacking your craft. And that really isn't, I have to, have conversations with her about like, that's not a reflection of you. That's a reflection of an unhealed person who's projecting. And it's your job to not listen to them, and social media is like hard for that. Like it's hard for you to cancel out like the bad things that people assume or lie on you about. But I always tell her like, it's none of your business what another person thinks about you.
Exactly.
Like your business is to know who you are and what you do. And you are like a certified freaking baddie who does all of this stuff from scratch. Like,
I've been beading since 5. I've been sewing since 13. And I feel like this has just kind of in reference to some stuff we've been hearing lately about the work that I do with my ready to wear. But it's like, I can construct these traditional garments. And I feel like, maybe I just need to remind people and show them what I do. Like even this past week, I made 3 shirts for my son and 2 breechcloths because he got bigger and he grew out of his past outfit. So I had to make him an outfit, and I was working for 5 days before we came to the powwow. But it's like, I'm still working on all of these garments, but I do create the ready to wear to make my work accessible to more people because I just can't sew that fast to make everybody handmade stuff.
Right. And I love that like Ira's been with us all day, like with just a bunch of matriarch baddies, like because he's gonna be a father, like, and he's gonna have to teach his child like their ways and what they do, but he also has to teach his child like to respect women and to see like what we do. We're not just mothers. We're not just someone's partners. Like we're actual entrepreneurs. Like we have our own lives. I have kids in New Mexico that I'm going to fly home to tomorrow because I miss them. Chanel's kids are in Florida. Alyssa brings her baby with her everywhere she goes because he's little. But like I have 4 kids. Chanel has 3 kids. Lauren has 3 kids. And it's like him watching us, that just opens up a whole different type of world to him of what the possibility is when you are in community with women who are doing things, but also teaches him to be a protector for us. Because, when he is on social media, and he's going to find out really quickly, I don't know how many new followers you have today, but like he's going to find out that like we are constantly under a microscope all the time and people are just watching what we're doing. And so being a good representative of your people, but also of like her craft work and what she does. It's not just about her and what she does, because there are other people who do the same thing that she does. She just does it in a different way that puts her in a different like type of platform. And it's easy for people to judge that when they're not doing the same thing. And it's all about what she's talking about, like the mindset to protect yourself, like of knowing who you are and where you come from. Like, I hope she makes stuff. The Met Gala table is only $25,000. Like,
let's all pitch in.
For real. Like,
all the proceeds from this episode.
Yeah. We're donating all the proceeds from this podcast into buying Lauren a $25,000 Met Gala. Yeah, I know that because the person who designed all of the black tailored suits, he raised the money. So like the end game in our community isn't for us to be like, oh, like one day if I can afford it. No, if you put your money in and your friend from, Oklahoma puts their money in. Yeah. Like,
well, no, you're just showing that it is possible.
It is possible.
If you want, I mean, we don't say like, hey, I like music. And I started doing all this because I wanted to be a producer. I did 90s R&B, like all that. That was my love.
Yes.
I wanted to get better.
Favorite genre right there.
And the thing about it is that I have gotten better.
Right.
Because I put the time, the effort, the love I invested into this. I've invested into myself, learning how to play instruments, all that. I learned how to play the flute, self-taught, keyboard, guitar, all that, just self-taught, just through ear. And then we got to show people that, you have your sons in basketball. You want them to get better, right?
They want to get better. I'm scared for them, but like I'm there to support them.
Exactly. And they want to get better. It's all on the person, how they want to get better. Nobody just ever sits there and says, well, I'm just gonna sit on a bench. You know?
No.
And that's pretty much what I feel is the importance of this episode, is telling that it is possible.
Yeah.
You got to get better.
It's very
She was talking about the
possible.
level of her craft, starting from 5 years old to where she's at now, where you have these amazing people just saying, it's only 25,000.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money, but it's only 25,000 to reach your dreams, to get to your goals. I mean, shoot, let's see how we can get that 25,000.
Contribute to our GoFundMe.
No, but for real, like if you have friends who are doing great things and they're also making money, I think too, like in our communities, like people don't like talking about money. I know I didn't like talking about money because it's like a mindset scarcity about money, you know, but once you start making money and her and I talk about this all the time, when are we going to become the bank? When are we going to become the people who are the ones that are bankrolling these great ideas? When are we going to become the people that are like so invested in what everybody else is doing, not along just with our own stuff, but when you start paying for those things and you start supporting those things, like it comes back to you tenfold. If Alyssa was coming to me, she's like, hey, I got contracted to make 10 pieces for her most favorite artist in the whole wide world that she's gifted pieces to, but I don't have the money to make those things. Can you help me? Well, heck yeah, I can. Why not? Why am I not going to invest in your dream? So the $25,000 table, like that's like a drop in the bucket of like the things that we're already doing. Yeah. And so if that's your dream, if that's what you want to do, like there should be enough people in your community that support you and want to see you do that they will back you for that. I hate to say it, but like white people do that all the time. Yeah. That's how more than half of this country was built.
Well, they could talk about money because they had that influence. For us, our parents never taught us, save all this credit. We had to learn about credit ourselves. We had to take a hit on our credit. Right. We had to learn this from the ground up. And our parents, they would just give us a little guidance like, oh, well, better save your money. And that was it, It's like nobody taught us how to invest. Nobody taught us about credit, all that stuff. Right. So for us, it's like where do we want to be with our kids? Right.
Chanel and I talk about that all the time.
You talk about generational wealth,
We do.
How far is it going to extend?
Right.
And that's the key. I mean, I think that's what you guys are trying to hit on too is, rather than just seeing it go to your kids, do you want to see your grandkids, great-grandkids? Right. Because there's people out there that have been 10 generations now.
Right. They got old money. We got a whole lot of new money. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. But like our new money is going to be old money,
One of these days.
Of these days.
Yes. That's what I'm always thinking about. And that's part of what I had to educate myself on and what I've had to educate, like continuously learn about is, how to invest for my children and grandchildren's future. So I've set some things up for them because I've found good success with what I'm doing and been able to make a living off of it and contribute back to my people and community. But I don't want that to end after me. Yeah. So I think finding ways that our people, our tribal communities, and our Indigenous entrepreneurs can invest in the future and keep this momentum going is something that we all need to look at. It's important.
Yeah. We only got like maybe 5 sentences from Ira.
I know. I was just sitting over there soaking up game is what he's been doing.
All right. I'm back.
It's like, he's like, is it my turn? My turn to talk?
Well, overall, what's your thought process on all of this as like not just a room, but like your whole day? I mean, you said it felt like your first time, even though it's like how many times have you done this now?
4 or 5, I think.
4 or 5?
Yeah.
And have you gotten better? Have you learned more, or are you just
a little more? I've gained a little more confidence.
A lot more
confidence.
Yes.
We can see in the photos.
Yes.
I still need a little bit of help with that. Thankfully, Debbie, the photographer, is able to do that, and along with these guys, they all help me try to get better. I don't know. I honestly just like I think it was Alyssa was saying that. She didn't think she was cut out for modeling.
Yeah,
I felt really the same way. Then I was fortunate enough to get that message from Lauren last March asking me if I wanted to. Yeah. And when I was fresh out of the military, I didn't know what else I was going to do. I was taking a couple months off to myself. But then I kind of, like I said, stepped out of my comfort zone, gave that a shot, and crawled out of my shell. Here I am a year later, still doing it, still learning learning to get better with the good guidance, with a good group of people.
So what's one thing that you would tell younger males that kind of want to do the same thing? What's a piece of information or advice that you could share?
I'd say basically what these ladies have been saying. So me personally, I feel like I kind of have like a small circle of people I call my friends. People that I actually like surround myself with like daily. Just because a lot of today's youth, or even people that I like, my peers or people that I've grown up with, I just kind of like don't follow the same what they do. I'm kind of, I guess, self-reserved. I kind of like to watch what people do more than participate. I've been sober all my life from everything.
It's awesome.
So I feel like that alone goes a long way. It can open a lot of doors. It's definitely setting an example. I've been told that multiple times. I don't want to say that in like a bragging way, but I kind of accept it now, and I try to be that like role model, because I've been told that there's younger people that look up to me inside and outside of the Powell circle. And I try to keep that positive image. Like they've mentioned, I was a Marine. I just got out a year and a half ago. I do firefighting now. And I keep just trying to put on for my people and making my family proud and trying to be that one that the younger generation or even people around me can look up to in a good way. I don't try to brag about anything. I can just do what I feel is right and just hope that other people will see that and maybe want to follow. Because like they've also said is that that ripple effect, it can definitely go a long way. If you have the right people around you, the right audience, people that you're presenting it to, even if you don't even have to think that anyone's watching and just kind of like doing the right thing regardless. I feel like someone's going to notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what they talked about was you're always being under a microscope. Even when you say you don't even feel like you don't make a big deal. Like I just keep to myself. But you'd be surprised.
People are watching.
You are a role model. And I
Yeah.
think that's so important for our young men to see, because all of us, we all have sons.
Right.
And we need Indigenous men that are healthy, living good lives, and doing good things to be their role models. So thank you for being who you are and doing what you're doing. I know you're kind of like, I just am, and I'm not trying to be anyone. But I mean,
But you are.
You are important.
Yeah.
You're very important.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think it's important to tell our boys that too, like constantly and all the time. Because, Lauren said we have boys and we're constantly having, I have conversations with my boys like daily.
Yeah.
Like they're beautiful and they're smart and they're intelligent.
Build them
And
up.
yeah, your brown skin is beautiful. Your long hair is beautiful. Like you're a whole vibe. And like just like telling our boys that, like really like tearing away that generational, intergenerational trauma that you call like not uplifting your kids and telling your kids like you can do literally anything, you can do literally anything. And so like having, Ira today and my boys are already texting me like, who's that? They want to model so bad for Lauren. I'm like, she just needs to come out with like a kids collection. Like you can do it. But it's like, they're already like, who is that? Like, it's, how come I can't model? It's like, because Ira's a grown adult.
But I do think that a lot of Native men don't think that they can model.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even today, like this weekend at the powwow, I love coming to like everyone's different powwows. I like going to powwows, but like here, like you can see them in the corner. They're kind of just like
Unknown talent.
Yeah, unknown talents. And it's like,
Undiscovered.
yeah, I'm bold though. I'm like, I'll walk up to you and just like, you are freaking beautiful. Have you ever thought about modeling? And they just look at you like, no. It's like, why not?
Right.
Like what are we not doing by uplifting our boys and our men and telling them that you are beautiful. You're more than just a powwow dancer. You're more than just, you know, whatever it is that you are going through, like, in your life. You're more than just that. Like, and you are worthy of being seen, and you're worthy of being, you know, an example if that's what you want to be. So having Ira with us like all day, he's just like with the girls all day.
I was teasing him. There was a group photo and there was 4 women around him, and I was like, Ira and all his wives, old ways.
The old ways. He was like, no. And we're like, too late.
In trouble.
I know, right? It's like too late. Ira and his wives. Like, no, but like it's that. It's having also a safe space for us to know that there are men out there that we can have amongst us in our community, in our photo shoots where we're changing and we're like, you know, we're models and they're being respectful. That is a powerful thing. Like, so shout out to your mom and your parents for raising you. Like, because I saw your mom yesterday, I cried. Like I was like so emotional watching you dance while I was recording. Mostly because I was missing my husband. Like, what, he doesn't dance, but like just in the uniform thing, like I was just missing him. And I'm like watching Ira dance, but I looked over and I saw your mom and she was just beaming, like, and I got so emotional watching her because I was like, this is a vivid picture of how I feel about my sons, like watching my sons, you know, my sons draw and my sons play basketball. And like, there's nothing, even Chanel, she'll send me videos and, you know, of her boys and what they're doing. It's like, we're more than just what we do. At the end of the day, like, we're simply like mothers. And so to watch and
learning from each other.
Yeah, learn from each other. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know, but like doing those types of things and knowing that you're sowing into a future of what someone's going to look like and what they're going to, you know, represent and how they're going to be in the world. That's so important. And so like watching your mom, I was literally just like, man, that is a woman that is so proud of her child. And just beaming. She's like running around looking for water, like, he needs water. And I was just like laughing because it's like, that's so me. That's me, like, when my boys are playing basketball. I'm like, everyone stop. Yeah. Their shoe is untied. No.
Well, I think that's already, you guys are kind of breaking a generational trauma. Whereas, like, why is it like people kind of, our generation, have never sought out to be like singers, never sought out to be more than just a powwow singer. Like, there's dudes out there that can freaking sing.
They can sing.
I will say also, you know, I was kind of scared to call myself an artist. Like, I was kind of nervous. Like, what are people going to think of me? You know, oh, I'm not a doctor. I'm not, you know, I don't have like this really, really high like profession. But I'm really comfortable with saying I'm an artist. I love telling people I'm an artist. And now I'm stepping into like who I am. And with the help of these ladies and the people that have been really supportive and loving, I'm stepping into my modeling. You know, it's so amazing. Like, these things are just coming to me. So I'm so grateful for that.
So was it a tough transition from the artist perspective into the model? It's kind of like being behind the camera to being in front of the camera.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was, I don't know. I had such a good introduction into modeling because of Lauren. You know, it was, I'm doing this for my friend, but I'm also having fun doing it. You know, like when we work for her, it doesn't feel like work. We're all laughing, you know, cracking jokes, you know.
Oh, and
we love
you
to
were
eat.
featured in Vogue.
Yes, and then I was featured in Vogue because of Lauren.
Yes.
It's so amazing.
Don't
All
tell
of
me
these
you're not a model
opportunities.
if you ain't been in Vogue.
Yeah, I can say that line now. So I'm so grateful for who I am, the people I'm surrounded with, and I give a lot of thanks to Lauren for giving me that confidence that I never thought I had. And sometimes that's what it takes, is someone, you know, from the outside to really believe in you,
encouraging you.
And that's what we all do as friends.
Yeah, it's our community.
Yeah. Seeing the flower in in the sand over there. That's what it takes. It's just being amongst people that will see that and encourage that. Because for my little guys, they love to sing, but they're so shy. Yeah. And it's just like, you guys you're capable. Come on, let's do it, And me, I'm shy too, but I've had to learn, like, if I want to do something like this, you gotta
just turn around. Just turn around so that you can feel like no one's watching you and just freaking belt it out. Like, I'm for real. Like,
well, I don't think you can turn around at the drum, but
I know. Right? If you're singing though, like like you can, just do whatever it takes.
Singing.
I know.
Well, back in the day, back in like when boy bands was a thing, I used to take choir and all that. So me and my brother, everybody was just like, well, we should start a boy band, and we were like,
giving the next Redbone.
And then I was just being too shy, and I don't know, just everybody's perception of like, oh, that's dumb. It kind of played into it. But it's like small-minded. Yeah. Like I grew up in a town of 5,000 people. Right. So it's hard, like once you kind of like get something good going in your life, all of a sudden you're Hollywood. You know? And it's just like, dude, like you can do the same thing. What's preventing you from doing the same thing?
That's like a hater mentality though. That's like a hater. Like it's like somebody who wishes they could do what you were doing, because in the back of their mind, like that's 9 times out of 10, that's what they're thinking. And that's what usually haters' makeups are that they either tried to do what you're doing and couldn't do it, or they don't have the confidence to do what you're doing at your scale. And they probably do. There are so many people who don't take chances on themselves because they're so worried about what people are going to say or what people are going to think of them. But like, it's at the end of the day, like, I think walking in your purpose is so important. I tell Lauren all the time, it's just like, you've already done so much work to get to where you're at right now. Like, that you're just starting to scratch the surface on what the possibility is. And if you let people stop you, then that's as far as you're gonna go. But when you surround yourself with people who are like gonna hype you up and tell you all the time, like, you are worthy of all the things that people are saying about you in these magazines. You are worthy of walking down the runway. Doesn't matter if you're like 5'3", like it doesn't matter. Like it's the mentality of what it is that you create in your own mind that your possibility is, and then like, doing that thing. Yeah. And so
I think it's important to remind yourself too, like how many people really do support you, because it's easy to like fixate on those people that don't.
Yes. Like I'll get one hater comment that gets past the filtered words, and I'll be like, and kind of feel down about it. But then like,
it does hurt.
Literally, then I'll look at like how many support me on launch day, how many orders I get in per day.
Yeah, even that AI comment, I was like, oof.
It does hurt.
It hurts.
What? Right. We got a hater comment on the same day, and I shared my screenshot.
We both did.
Yeah.
We both did the same day. There must have been something in the air, and that's why I have to turn off social media sometimes. I really have to just put away the phone and just focus on my purpose. Why am I doing this? So
you do, like, I notice like multiple times, I won't say a lot, but sometimes there's been like people will be saying things online, and like I just kind of check out. I check out online, and then I'll literally just refocus on my here and now, my beautiful children, my healthy children, my life that I have, and I'm just like grateful for it. So there is like, we're all talking about social media, but at the same time, we live in the real world. We are responsible to our communities. We're responsible to our families. So it's important to always remember that and remember our values as Indigenous people as we walk in everyday life, whether it's, wherever we're physically at or within the social media space. We have to remember our values. We have to remember that we're the role models for our people. And we may have the one crab in the bucket that says things about us, but we need to just remember to maintain our sanity and maintain who we are as Indigenous people and our values.
Also, too, like who you tell right away, who you're texting right away.
I'll screenshot them all.
And she's like sending it to us, and we're like, okay, like we all know this is a lie. This is a hater, and so like.
But we're all there to support each other.
And lift each other up.
Cut each other down.
Remind, don't don't say anything to them. Like, it's
Not
irrelevant.
even worth your time. Yeah.
No, yeah, you have to do that.
Well, that's everyday life.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, every day.
You know, it's whether we focus on the pull or the push, it's up to us.
Right.
You're always going to focus on people that are going to pull you down or people that are going to push you forward.
Right.
So every day it's making a choice. And right now, you're making a choice to put yourselves out there. You're
Right,
making a choice to stand in front of cameras, even being on a podcast, you know, because we've had people say things, and to me, it's just like, oh, well, you know.
Also, too,
listen,
people
Ben.
don't. Yeah. Also, too, people don't want to listen to positivity. Like
Yeah.
they really don't.
They don't. They want to sit in negativity. And
They
being
want to like
miserable.
wallow and fester in negativity.
Go do that somewhere else.
Because that's like how they feel comfortable.
Yeah,
but
not our
like we
vibes.
don't. We don't feel comfortable. It makes us uncomfortable to be in drama or for people to be negative because we spend so much time in the light that it's like you don't want to go back.
Well, that's what I was talking about, the breaking a generational trauma. Because, I mean, my parents weren't affectionate, but I tell my boys, my kids, I love them every day.
Yeah.
And
Same.
That's what we have to do.
Right.
You know? Because eventually, you know, you want it to stop someplace.
Right.
You want growth to be imminent. You want growth to just keep going on to the next generation.
I always say I'm excited to see like our kids' generation too grow up as adults because they're going to be so different.
Yeah.
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 I just don't like the slang.
Slang
Why?
is weird.
Why?
Slang?
Because it's chatty.
Yeah.
Yeah, like skibbity
toilet.
or that.
Because you're gonna crash out. Because you're gonna crash out,
Oh,
bruh.
yeah. Crash
Yeah.
out.
Well, my kids don't even call me mom. Like,
Bro.
bruh. They're like, bruh. And I'm like, what?
Bro.
Yeah, my daughter, she's like, oh, I'm about to crash out. I was like, you're tired?
Yeah, I know, for real. My daughter said that to me the first time. I'm going to crash out. And I was like, no, you can't. We have basketball in an hour. And she's like, no, like, I'm going to freak out. And then someone was like, he's tweaking or something. And I was like, what? Who's on drugs? I was like, what?
Man.
What is going on? I was like, did their mom and dad know? Like, what is it? She's like, no, like, that's not what it means anymore. And I'm just like, look.
I think we're getting older now.
Nah,
guys.
y'all done took our slang that was perfectly fun and made it your own, and I'm not okay with it.
Well, welcome to the life, Ira.
I know.
I'm still. These guys were saying some stuff I didn't understand. I'm the youngest one in the room.
I know one of my nephews. One day we were texting and I just happened to say like, "Oh yeah," because I'm ill like that. He says, "Are you okay?" I was just like, "Shit."
He's like,
Never mind. Never mind.
I'm sick with it for real. No, like I sometimes think our kids don't understand that like we created slang. And we made Facebook.
We were cool.
We made social media. We made MySpace.
cool.
Yeah.
We made MySpace
For
literally.
real. We literally, I'm like, you think you're cool, you're in STEM and you're coding. I've been coding since
Yes,
like
literally.
1998, bro. I could put purple circles in my MySpace bio.
Oh my God, seriously.
MySpace.
That's
We used to have battle raps on paper.
I know, right? Paper planes flying across the room. No, it's just like I don't know. I'm like Chanel. I have so much hope for our kids and like our future generations, and I feel like the effort that we put into our everyday lives right now are the things that like our kids are gonna look at, and even our youth. Like people are younger than us. We have so many girls that walk up to us at like Santa Fe,
Yeah.
walk up to Lauren, like, oh my God, can I take a picture? Like you're my favorite designer. I love this dress, or like just hyping you
It
up.
makes you
Like
feel good.
it makes you feel good to know that like
You're
people
doing something.
do appreciate the good things that you're doing. And you're not necessarily just doing them for yourself. You're actually healing yourself while you're helping others heal by being inspired. And I think that people forget that sometimes. And so I don't know. Sky's the limit, really. Do what you want.
Exciting.
And we talk about, you know, positivity, supporting each other. I think I always tell everybody the easiest thing you could do is just hit the share button, especially when
Yeah.
it comes to indigenous
Yes.
artists.
Right.
indigenous
Comment.
clothing. I mean,
Like.
even if you don't
Yes.
get any likes on
words
your
or
own,
more.
just
Yeah.
share it. You know, that's all
No
you gotta
emojis.
No emojis. 4 words.
do. A lot of
4 words or more, please.
because a lot of people just don't understand that it's just you had to find the algorithm. You got to find all that. And I always tell people,
And it's always changing.
yeah,
Yeah.
because people always ask me about like poem music and all that on Spotify, and I'm just like, well, number one, because you're native and you search, Northern Cree whatsoever, it's always gonna pop up. But if you want to get discovered, it's not likely because non-natives, they don't ever get our algorithm.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell them, it's just like with Culture Stream, the app that I was doing, it was about representation. It was about being yourself. Because it's just like you pay a subscription. It's just like, yeah, that's cool. But you'll get more than just this one drum group. You get all the drum groups. You get all the native artists.
Yes.
But
we need to talk about that because you're telling me about it and I didn't know about it. Like, So it's like a opportunity to educate people on what's out there because...
Well, you look at how everything's evolved nowadays. You don't even have to go to the store. You get Instacart.
Right.
You want the newest movie, like...
You don't have to go to theaters anymore.
Yeah, Minecraft is already out,
Yeah.
And then how long does it take you to listen to a song before you actually think you like it?
I don't know, like 15 seconds.
15 seconds.
Yeah.
So 10 seconds, it's considered a stream.
Okay.
Because our minds have just, we don't ever focus.
Right.
We know what we like. We know what we want. We want it now.
Right.
So it just, 10 seconds. Before it used to be 30 seconds.
No,
Then
we're
it
in
was 15.
instantaneous humanity now.
Exactly.
Reels,
we
TikTok.
want it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like,
True.
there's
It's that dopamine.
Uber Eats. We
Yes.
don't even have to leave the house. Everything is
gosh.
right there.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's how we're evolved. And for us, it's kind of, I guess it was kind of our fault. No, just kidding. But that's what I'm saying. It's just like with the streaming app that I was doing, it was just trying to educate, trying to share what it was all about. And I do want to help our indigenous people. And
Right.
that's important. It's like, if it's not with me, at least it'll be in the future. At least somebody will be like, yo, that's important.
Yeah.
Because it was more than just our own tribes. Like, I wanted to reach out to the Samoan, the Maori, people that have culture.
Yeah.
And that's why it's called Culture Stream.
Yeah.
That's why it was so important for me, was that the fact of culture, because I grew up my dad was the first language speaking Dakota, his first language. He didn't go to school till he was 8 years old because he didn't know English. And it's tough because my generation, me and my siblings, he never taught us. Come to find out, it was easier for him to teach others because his dad, my grandpa, I've never met my grandpa. He passed away before I was born. But he was in boarding school and he got beat for speaking his language.
Yeah.
So in turn, he kind of taught my dad the same thing. Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we had to heal from, because it's not bad.
No,
it's a part
it's
of
not.
us, We lose our culture, our language, and like, who are we? And I always tell people that,
Yes.
it's just, all we are is just dark-skinned white people with a tribal ID, with a blood
Right.
quantum.
Yeah.
We need the culture.
We need
the culture. We need the language.
When I started like becoming close to Lauren, she's the person who taught me, like she brought me back to the importance of my cultural identity. I was just thought, like, I always used to say, like, I'm just a brown girl from the sticks, like, and really the way that I grew up, like, very traditional. My grandparents only spoke like Spanish and UME, like they didn't even speak English. I didn't even speak English. I didn't speak English until I was like almost halfway out of first grade. I had to do like ESL and stuff. Like, I didn't speak English. I only spoke traditional UME and Spanish. And so, like, sometimes people ask me, like, are you, like, you speak Spanish? You speak other languages? Because you're so articulate with how you speak words. But it wasn't until I started getting closer to Lauren that she was just like, why don't you talk about this? Why don't you talk about, like, your culture? What she would ask me questions and I'd just so easily answer her questions. But she's like, why don't you center yourself around that? Like, you have children. It's important for you. I'm like, well, my kids do a lot of traditional things. I do traditional things. But it wasn't until she started teaching me about the importance of not just knowing your culture, but being connected in your culture. And, like, going
Teaching it
home
to your
more
children.
and teaching your children that.
Telling them it's important.
Yeah. And so it's just like, now my kids, they're more aware that their identity is more than just being brown kids with long hair and doing traditional things. It's about like being people that pass that down generationally, because otherwise, like you said, for us, it's just like, oh, we're just brown people from the sticks. Like, no, we're more than that. I think that's where more healing comes from.
Yes.
You know, knowing where you come from. And I say this all the time now. If you know where you come from, like, you know where you're going.
I feel like one of the reasons why I focused on clothing and art is because art is our physical manifestation of our culture. It holds our stories. Like there's a reason why things are certain colors. There's a reason for certain designs. You know, it tells about who we are as a people. And that's why I've been so adamant about it. Like, I feel like there's a big push right now for language revitalization, which is beautiful and needed. And this would have been a place for Jay Lee to step in. Remember, she was here and she's like, I think I'm going to go. I don't think I have a place in this. But I mean, this would have been a perfect spot for her to come in since she's a language teacher. She's another one of my models. She's
A boxer.
a boxer.
Badass.
I feel like she's such an amazing MHA role model.
Yes.
And I feel like there would have been a place for her in this conversation. But I mean, I feel like all of us, you know, in all of the sectors that we do, we are representing. What we do is making a way for different people, whether it's language, whether it's art, whether it's warriors, whether it's, you know, being mothers, being models. Like, we're all in our different spaces and we're making ways for our children and the younger generations. And it's needed and important.
Exactly. That's the idea, and that's the point that we're trying to get across, is that culture is important, and your expression with that in your art, your clothing, it shows. So now, got to do our part.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't even like, when I was a teenager, I feel like there weren't a lot of Native designers in our area. There wasn't. And I feel like the only Native design clothing you could get was culturally appropriated. And so I always wondered, I was like, you know, it wasn't that long ago we were living in earth lodges and teepees. Why don't we dress that way? And I'd always like say that. And I was a young person and nobody was wearing ribbon skirts back then. And I started wearing a ribbon skirt. I made my first one when I was 17. And I really got a lot of looks, even from people today that wear ribbon skirts. But they would like look at me, even say things like, oh, this one's trying to be too Indian. But it's like, yeah, I'm prideful in who I am and where I come from. I want people to know that we're still here, that we're still living and that we're thriving and we're proud of who we are. And so I feel like, I'm not saying that I'm the reason for the movement, but I feel like there is such a big movement within Native people to reclaim our identities in the way that we dress. And yeah, it may be just the outward appearance, but it does help us, you know, it promotes, you know, who we are as a people. It makes us feel good inside, you know, that we're here, that we're reclaiming this land, that this is our land, and we're prideful that we're here and that we're raising our families here. I feel like it's all together that we're relearning our languages, we're singing at powwows, we're dancing at powwows, and that, you know, we're still here and we're still alive. So I feel like everyone plays an important role, and that's one of the reasons why I get the models that I do to, you know, help me on this mission to show that Indigenous people are still here and we're living, thriving.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I think we should kind of wind it down. So far, good.
A lot of good things said.
Yes.
I really love the energy.
I can't wait to like listen to this back.
We're going to live here all motivated, like, yeah, we're going to do this, and this.
Remember,
Let's see what comes out.
25,000.
Yes,
25,000.
Yes.
I mean, that wasn't my goal, but now that I know I don't want to say only 25,000 because that is a lot, but it's not unreachable.
Yeah.
Nah, if you think about it though, like if you take the average money spent that people spend on junk and redistribute that to something that's meaningful, it's not that much money. Like, really, if you think about it.
Like if people pay subscription that they don't even use.
Right.
Why
You know.
not? I wish we could have did that with Culture Stream. I'm just kidding.
I'm
Don't
serious.
give up on your dreams.
I think like people don't understand the power of $1. Like they really don't. If you have 200 and something thousand followers, if one person donated $1, you'd have $200,000.
Oh,
like
that's true. I have 220,000 followers. On
that's what I'm
Instagram.
saying. If you
I just need
ask
25,000
yeah,
views.
if you put that out and you're like, if some of you would give $1, and I think that like,
Or 50 can give 50 cents.
that's what I'm saying. Like I think sometimes we don't compute or calculate in our minds like how simple things are. We think about a number, or we think about a goal, or we think about a crazy idea.
Yeah.
But if you think about who you know, use your resources, and just ask. I've been in boardrooms where people have the most amazing ideas, because I do a lot of consulting work for small businesses. These people have $1 million ideas, and they have proven concepts, like actual working concepts. And because they were afraid to ask, those concepts have stayed in thumb drives and in boardrooms that will never see life. And I think that like once we start dismantling this idea that what we're asking for is too much, then you'll see more people do things. You know, if you're talking about your streaming service and stuff like that, you might feel like the cards are stacked against you. But if you get enough people in the right rooms and you talk about what you're trying to do, those people are going to back what you have to say, or like what concept you have. Because honestly, like if you were to say, I need $25K to go to the Met Gala so I could dress X, Y, and Z person.
And I'm just going to send my friends.
For real. I'm just going to send my friends to the Met Gala. Like, seriously, you could do that. And I think that that's like a really good prime example of dream bigger, do bigger, have the manifest bigger, and be surrounded by the right people that are going to support your dreams and, you know, dismantle those crabs in the bucket type thing. But I'm telling you guys, I've just been in boardrooms, and I've looked at portfolios, and I've looked over contracts of, you know, the most innovative, creative, most beautiful people. We don't take chances on ourselves. And you have to bet on yourself every single time. And it's good to be humble, because that's who we are at our core. It's in our DNA. But there are times where you're going to have to lower the ladder and get yourself out of the burning building first. And once you're good, you can come back for other people. But like sometimes it's okay for you to, and that's like, people will say like, oh my God, this is the worst thing to say. It's like, no, if you don't bet on yourself, you're going to miss opportunities to do bigger and better things.
That's something that I struggled with, because it's like, you know, as Indigenous people, and especially of MHA, you know, we're not supposed to talk about ourselves and what we do. But I feel like I've had to come to terms where I don't brag myself up, but like on my social media, I tell like, this is where my work was published at. This is where I'm going for a presentation. This is who wore my stuff. But I feel like to our youth, we need to send the message that, you know, believe in yourself, but also to anyone that wants to be anyone or anything or do anything, no one is going to care if you don't care enough to tell someone about it.
Right.
So have the confidence to take the risk and just do it. You may flop, but you may be successful. And I feel like I've been in both areas where some things haven't worked, but some have. And when it does, I feel like you also get like addicted to that. Like, oh, this was so successful. People really loved this design. You know, am I going to work with this again? And I'll just think about what's my next move? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So, I mean, just have the confidence to keep doing it. And that's why for you, I think like, you know, your dream can work, but maybe it needs to be changed a little bit. Like we're all going and we're finding out what works. Like it can work. That's an amazing idea. And I think that it is important for Indigenous people to have this streaming service, Culture Stream. That sounds amazing. Right. But maybe just rethink it. Because for me, many a times I've like done something and be like, okay, I got to rethink that. I got to just tweak it a little bit.
Oh, it's every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I'm always thinking new ideas, new concepts. I mean, it's just, I'd rather get made fun of for trying than not try at all.
Right.
You know, because it's just like, people can't call you a loser if you tried and failed.
Right.
At least
Even
you
when I
tried.
first started social media, like when I first started taking it seriously, it was only when I first turned 30. And I'm 31 now. But I told all my friends at the time, and I was like, don't like laugh, but I'm gonna start posting like crazy. Like you guys are gonna make fun of me, but like I'm taking it serious.
Yeah.
And then look at where I am today, just because I did that. And none of my friends made fun of me, but that was what I was thinking. Like you guys are gonna be like, whoa, because I'm posting all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel too. Sometimes I was before Christmas, I was posting like 3 times a day, and I was like, "Whoa, that
But
is kind
it's
of a lot."
needed
but
for social media
It
to
is.
grow.
Even with artists, so artists, listen up, native artists, it takes 32 songs to finally make a break. You might post maybe 10 and be like, oh, I don't have any followers. Keep going. Keep posting your music.
Keep going.
And keep pushing your music. Because there's people out there that will have 20 albums, but they'll never ever push themselves out. It's like, oh, yeah, it's there.
And be proud of it. Be
Yeah.
proud of what you do.
Yeah.
It's just have pride in everything that you do, especially when you want to represent yourself, knowing that you're also representing, your family, the people behind you, your ancestors. And that's what I think we should focus on, is just knowing that the people behind us are the ones that set the way.
Yeah.
We're just going a little bit further. And we're hopefully getting a little bit further for our kids.
Right.
And
Yeah, that's super important. The other day I post a lot of like motivational quotes, and I post a lot of music on my stories and stuff, but I posted a motivational quote from Successful Goat, and it said like, I have more L's than wins. And it like that resonated so much with me because, besides my friends, like people wouldn't know how many L's I've taken. And so I reposted this, and I got literally like hundreds of DMs of people saying like, I resonate so much with what you posted. But the quote was like, it said, I've taken more L's than wins. But the difference between you and me is that I didn't quit. And I think that like, that is the thing that, is going to carry your dream forward, is that, yeah, man, you might have taken some L's and the streaming service might have got shut down, but like once you rework it and you have the right people behind you to back that,
get influencers to spread the word.
yeah, like, just
Native influencers, indigenous influencers.
start the like redo it, like relaunch it.
Yeah.
Like if you
Don't
believe
give
in that, don't give up on it. And if it got shut down because you didn't have, enough promotional content and people weren't buying ad services on it, like try again. Like especially right now, like I'm always looking for new music. I don't like posting the same music all the time on my social media.
too.
She
I'm
doesn't either. She's
always
always like,
looking
what
for
song should I
music.
use? And I'm like, I don't know, bro, but like,
Even
I'll
on
go on,
beadwork,
indigenous artists,
Yeah.
just so I can find new artists.
one of the things that kind of like native artists, drum groups should understand is that a lot of the times these streaming platforms, they take weeks, months to upload your music. And the idea with the app was that, hey, once it's ready, put it out. But a lot of people were just like, well, is it exclusive? It's like, yeah, for the time being. Then later on, we can be in the loop of all these streaming services like TuneCore, CD Baby. It's just like, yeah, we could be on that platform. But the important thing that I stressed was self-representation. And it just, like I said, people want what they already have. It's just, I have Apple Music, I have Spotify. If it's not on there, then I'm not interested.
no, I
That's-
feel like we're in a culture change right now where people are like, and
I think
Lauren,
indigenous people want to give business to other indigenous people.
right? We talk about this a lot too. Like retail is changing, consumerism is changing every single day. People want to know what they're buying and what they're supporting and who
They're
it's
buying it
benefiting.
from. Yeah.
And I think that's what's made us like successful in this space.
Being the face of our business.
Of being the face of our business and doing what we say we do. If I was to talk about all day long about what Prado's does, like, and never talk about what we do, like people wouldn't know about it. It's just the people that benefit from it directly. I don't even have to talk about what we do as a brand because so many people have benefited from the brand, whether it's nonprofit organizations or other businesses or like people are trying to like raise money and like stuff like that. Like we give back to that. Lauren and I, like even with our own collection, like yeah, it's going into retail, but her and I have donated so much back into our communities and other communities because of what we do. And it's, we have people to answer to. Our community asks us, like, what are you doing with the money? And it's like, we're giving it back to our people. And so I think that when you have that conversation about like what is happening in consumerism, not just in retail, but like in people in general, they want to know who they're supporting. They want to know about Alyssa and her husband and her beautiful little baby. Like when you buy from her, when she's sitting there beating, go tell that story about how your room looks.
Tell your story.
Tell your story. Tell your authentic.
I've definitely been influenced by my friends. Like, post more. Just do it. You know, they want to hear your story.
People love you too.
And I'm like,
your
well,
little boy.
I don't know. I'm kind of shy to step into that space.
No, like you have to. My best friend is like in love with Chanel's content. We're in the morning.
She's such
Teresa,
a supporter. I love
like
her.
she loves her content. We're sipping outside, having our cup of coffee before the kids wake up in the chaos. We're watching the sun come up, and I can hear her watching her like morning when she's getting ready, and she's like, "I wonder what she puts in that. Like, what were you making the other day?
What was it?
You were cooking something.
Oh, she's a cook too.
She was making
Alyssa
like habichuelas or something.
Yeah,
what were you making?
I cook some Dominican food.
Yeah, she's cooking like Dominican food, and
Yeah.
Teresa's like, "What is that?" She's like, "Is that sazon?" And I'm like, "Yes, it's sazon." Like, just text her, call her, and ask her for
I
the.
post a lot.
No, but like
my life.
you're watching. You're watching.
But I tell you this all the time too. Like when I didn't know you, who I seen on social media is like a completely different person than who you are.
She's
in
actually
real life.
really hilarious.
She's very
She's
professional.
She's a
and
comedian.
Yeah, she's so cool, chill. Like I did not think that we would have been this close before we met.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want people to know you because like
Well, I think even for me,
think
like
they
I don't
deserve
have
to know
social
you.
media all figured out. I feel like I could get more comfortable with being on camera and video. Like I feel like for me, I'm so like business oriented on my business page. I have a private page that's like I just post pictures of like my family or selfies, but like I feel like I don't show a lot of my personality, but I post what's most important to me, which is the art and representation.
Right.
But I feel like I am
but I
like
think
I'm a
it'd be
real
cool for people
positive.
to know you.
I'm
funny
gonna have like a
person.
reality show and
Yeah,
like,
we need a reality show.
have us
That
like
would be so funny.
follow us like
Imagine.
yeah, we like saying
Then they'd see the real me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
what's it, Kai Sinat or whatever, and be like, hey, you should hang out with like the baddies for 24 hours. Like, you think your content's cool right now? Like, do you understand native humor?
Yeah.
Like, you know, let's like, I think that like people seeing a more, I would say that like a more authentic you, because you're 100% authentic, but I think more personal you.
Personal, yeah.
Like more personally, like freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like a Chicana indígena from freaking Arizona, and I live in New Mexico, and I'm like, my best friend is from freaking North Dakota, and they're like, how the fuck did that happen? Like, how did that
when
happen?
they came, I was like, welcome to the res.
I know. She's always like, when are you coming to see me? Like, come over here. And I was just like, I love being
Let
here.
me show you my res.
No, she does. She's like, come. I mean, I have to show you my res. Look at my trailer. Like,
look at these oil wells.
I know. And I'm just like, you're so cool. Like,
I'm like, now you have to come to my rest.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, we're
the
gonna go to
next trip.
Chanel's res, every res, and then we're gonna go to Alyssa's res. We're just gonna go hang out in Nevada and just, you know.
Well, y'all only come up when the snow's gone.
No, we came up.
I
No,
know,
we
that's
were
what-
here.
They were talking about how beautiful it was. I was like, yeah, it's super beautiful, but it's frigid
Really
cold.
cold. No, we
It's
were
cold.
we were just here.
We did a shoot outside.
Yeah,
and
it was
like
snowing.
-7.
We were like little like.
That's
It
still
was
sweater
so cold.
weather. No, just kidding.
No,
man,
we
it was
had
so
like
cold.
we had like freaking moon boots on.
Yeah.
We were like
It was the winter.
-1.
It was really cold, but we were only out there for a little bit.
Yeah,
that's true.
and then like we left, and I was
Wearing
like
really
sitting on the
puffer jackets and
tarmac.
vests.
Yeah, I was sitting on the tarmac for like an hour, and I was like freaking out. I was like, Lauren, what the heck are they putting all over this plane? It was
They
like
were, like,
blue and
de-icing
like
the
green,
plane. Yes.
and I was like, what's gonna happen? I was like, should I just get off the plane and like wait till it's not frozen. And Daniel was like, my husband's Daniel. He's like, if you do that, you're going to be there like for a month. He's like, just get on the plane. But we left and then like the next day was like what, negative 20? It was negative something. And I was like, bro, how do you live up there? Like, and she's like, I'll never leave. And I was like, well, I'll keep coming to see my best friend.
I actually ask non-Indigenous people that live here, I'm like, why do you guys live here? Like, you guys are not connected to the land. You don't have the history here that goes back multiple generations. And I'm always like,
hundreds of years.
Why do you live here? Like, if I wasn't connected to the land and the people, I'd be out into like some tropical place. I don't know, but I love it here.
I lived in Minneapolis for about 20 years.
Okay.
And one of the actors from that area was asked the same question in an interview. I think it was Josh Hartnett.
Okay, yeah.
And they said, well, what do you do during the winter? You guys have 9 months of winter. And he's like, well, why do you think we're so good at sports? Why do you think we're so good at our crafts? It's like, because it's so cold out, we get a chance to actually focus on our craft.
Right.
Oh, that's true.
That's true. Maybe that's why I'm so good at art.
Right.
9 months working hard,
day.
sewing and drawing.
I love that though. I love that.
And that's the truth. It's just find what you love and you just dedicate your time, all that.
Right.
Even like it doesn't take living in negative 70 degree weather. It was negative 70 over the winter time. And it doesn't take that. It just takes dedication, time, effort. But yeah, just something I wanted to share about living up here.
Right.
But yeah, for like a week, it was like negative 60.
Yeah,
that's too much for me. I'm a desert rat. I'm like, I need my heat. I need my sun. I wake up in the morning and it's like first thing I do, go open my curtains. Me too. Hear my coffee brewing before I get the kids ready. Like I had to be in the sun. If I'm not in the sun, I get like depressed. I seriously do. I lived in New York for like 3 years. I was so depressed. I didn't even know why. It was like, oh, you have a vitamin D deficiency. And I'm like, what is that? And they're like, well, when you're not in the sun,
and you always see gray skies.
Right. They're like, you're from Arizona. So if you're not in the sun, like you're most likely going to get a vitamin D deficiency. Well, it turns out vitamin D deficiency like can like kill you really.
It's real.
It is. It's real. It can cause like, a lot of stuff until it's like, well, what do I do? And they're like, well, you should take this one pill, 80,000 milligrams once a week. And I was like, well, I could just go home. Jen was like, no. But yeah, I think like being able to come up here and spend time with your people, like I always leave with this, like fulfillment. I love going home to my pueblos. I love being with my family. We're a family of like, ranchers, cattle herders, and like I was talking about deer hunting and stuff, and they're laughing at me. Like it's like the greatest thing. Like I just love to like, I love how I grew up like culturally. But when I come up here, like just being around Lauren and her people, I always leave with this like fulfillment that like I don't know. I can't even describe what it is. It's just like knowing that you have relatives and friends that like you can go on their homeland and you feel like the pride that they put into like where they come from and culturally. And, seeing the MHA Center today, I was like, our makeup's in there, like our collaborations in there. And to know that like this is a place that,
That's where our podcast actually started off, was at the Interpretive Center. I helped kind of redo their whole studio over there.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like knowing that, you get to go a certain place and work with people and, get to know them on a deeper level and like what they represent and where they come from. It's just like a fulfilling feeling. And that's what we want. Like,
that's how it should be too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
not just for me or for her. It's like anybody who works with anybody, you go spend time on their homelands. Like I can't wait to go check out Chanel's, res and just kind of learn more about her and her people and where they come from. I feel like we should be doing that more.
I do say that there's so much beauty in our cultures. When I grew up, like this, it was just normal. The lifestyle was normal. And then when I left home and I went to school in Santa Fe at the Institute of American Indian Arts, I met people, and through social media, I met people that didn't grow up the way I did, that were searching for that connection. And that's when I realized how lucky I was to be raised the way that I raised. Like I grew up with my grandpa speaking Hiradza with his brothers out in the country. I grew up with my grandma working her garden and talking about the importance and the teachings that go into our garden. And my mother like sewing right in front of me. And I thought like, oh my gosh, there are so many people that like want this. They want to find that connection. And then all of the good teachings that I got from it, it really made me realize like I'm so lucky and I want other people to feel that connection. And that's why I created the art that I do. And I make the clothing that I do is so that they can, you know, kind of feel some of that or find that within themselves. But I didn't realize it until I was an adult and I left home to realize like how lucky I was to be raised the way that I was raised.
Yeah, me too.
All of us are. I mean, we're all really culturally connected to our people, and there are a lot of reconnecting natives or natives that don't know their lineage or where they come from. So I just feel like, you know, we have such a valuable voice as Indigenous people and Native people in our communities that grew up within our communities. And I want to encourage all of you guys to keep doing what you're doing. Be the voice. Even if people think it's cringy. Even if people hate on us.
Yeah, I know, right?
Just keep the positivity going and don't give up on your dreams.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Oh, I won't. I'll keep pushing.
Yeah, we're here today. He's been on me about that. He's like, come on the podcast. Come on the podcast.
I was so excited when you told us that we're on a podcast.
Yeah, last night. I was like, what? How'd she do that? I was like, what?
I was like, by the way, guys, I booked us on a podcast.
Yeah.
We're like, whose podcast?
Well, me and
When?
Chanel, I mean, we'd like tell ourselves, you know, be ready for anything. And it's like, we made it in a good way though.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be ready for anything.
Be ready
When
for
it comes
anything.
to
Lauren
you,
made
we
me
had
wear-
no idea.
You never know. Lauren's
You
going to make
never
us
know.
do.
You never know. But I'm so
Yes.
grateful. It's such a blessing. It really is a blessing.
Now, Ira, you got to get your passport. If you don't have one, you need one.
He has to have one. He's in the
I have
military.
one.
Oh, okay. He's like, I have
Don't
one.
tell me
I got it in
twice, I have one.
Spain.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So like, because we need a bodyguard.
You and Bryce can be the bodyguard.
I know. And then like, we're just like, we're gonna go here and we're gonna do this.
Yeah, we love to travel.
It's like,
Why
why?
not?
Why not?
Right.
No.
Right.
Right. Why
Yeah.
not?
For the experiences.
Yes.
Yeah,
then
Ira's
it's like-
still here, guys.
Ira.
Yeah, I am.
He's like, yeah, I'm still here.
Well, a little background about our podcast. Well, I have 3 other co-hosts.
Okay.
We started this, like I said, at an interpretive center. And the idea was just like, we had all this stuff. I kind of told them what to order. And I was just like, what do you guys think about doing a podcast? And he was like, shit, for real? And then I was just like, why not? And they're like, well, what are we going to do? First, it was like paranormal. And only one person was interested in it. So, like, we tried one episode like
Paranormal
that.
activity.
Stories.
And
Oh,
then
thank God we're not on that one.
I know, right?
And
I'd be
then-
freaked out. I would have showed up.
I got lots of stories.
Our first-
Can't do it.
our first episode actually ended up being our Powwow pet peeves.
Okay.
And my
I listened to
co-hosts,
that.
I
It was
listened to
really
that one
good.
too. It was
Yeah.
good.
my co-hosts are actually Powwow people that were with winning drum groups, still active in the Powwow world. So it's just, we know what we're talking about. It's like, I grew up, I've known Lauren
For
forever.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Used to run around at Powwows and stuff. But knowing like the whole Powwow world, it was just like, well, there's not really a podcast. And for us, it was just like, you know, what can we do? It was just like, we only did what we knew.
Right.
And all of a sudden, our Powwow pet peeves, and so many people were coming up and be like, man,
Why didn't you
you're
say
right."
this?
No, a lot of people tell us their pet peeves.
Right.
And you would be surprised. It's just like out of nowhere. Like I had a guest staying over this weekend. He was like, you know my Powwow pet peeve? I was like, what?
Still
10 years later.
Exactly. But even like guys.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
like so cool.
And I stayed after the Powwow last night to kind of see if I can bring on more guests through the week. And then one of the guys I was talking to Ho Chung Station, and their homie, he was just like, I'll catch you guys later. And he's like, hey man, I'm sorry to interrupt, man. I was like, nah, you're good, bro. He's like, what's your name, bro? I was like, oh, I'm JTC boy. the fucking podcast guy, Culture Stream. I was like, yes, you know. But it's just like, I know a lot of people have been inspired by what we're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the key. It's
Right.
just like, man, you make a podcast better than us, go for it. I'm not going to sit there and be like, hey,
Right.
you know.
I have a podcast too. And I'm just like trying to get these girls to go down so that they can be on my
Bring your
podcast.
podcast.
I'm going to have to, we were like,
You should.
before you went to the restaurant, I was like, I'm going to have to bring my podcast up here.
Podcast meets podcast.
No, it's like, I think people are just so interested in like hearing our stories and what we have to say, like for the first time almost, and like resonate with that. So congratulations, like on having your podcast.
It's so inspiring.
Yeah.
It's so
and what you're
inspiring.
doing, like,
Yeah, that's cool. I wish I had a podcast.
it's like new business venture podcast.
Well, if you ever need help setting it up, let me know.
Yeah, that's
I
amazing.
mean, my thing is helping our people. It's helping our artists.
You
It's
do all the
helping
editing for it?
everything.
That's awesome.
Set up everything.
Let's talk business.
Make
I'm
sure that
actually-
camera has our good angle. I'm just kidding.
Put a filter on it.
And one of the reasons why we kind of held off on our podcast is because we're actually doing a song revitalization for our MHA Nation.
Oh, okay.
So we've been focusing on that, and then we're actually taking old tapes of personal honor songs, veteran songs, converting them digital, and working with our elders for translations.
Wow.
That's
words,
beautiful.
all
So
that.
good.
So that way,
Much needed.
yes, so that way generations down to actually be able to sing them and hear them from a fluent speaker.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So that's why we kind of been holding off, and honestly, this is like the perfect episode to come back to
Aw.
because Lauren's dropping her line and the
June
Prados.
3rd. We're all wearing it right now. If
Yeah.
you can see
Yes.
us.
So if you're on cam, you guys want to give it.
Model.
We'll do a little model talk.
We start over here. That's Chanel,
Yeah.
Cece,
Hi.
of course, Lauren,
Alyssa.
Alyssa. I'll let him introduce me. He hasn't said much.
I suppose Ira.
It's like I'm Ira. No, yeah.
It's been an awesome episode. Just chilling, hanging out with these great-minded people.
Bunch of baddies.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, what
Yes,
a
thank
full
you.
circle moment for you two as
Yeah.
you both as well.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Finally got to do our episode.
Like I said, her mom was the one. She was just like, "You need to jump on the podcast."
Yeah, she's the one that told me at
Yeah.
first, like, Lauren, I listened to this really good podcast. And I was like, send it to me. So it was yours. I was like, hey, that's cool.
Yeah,
funny.
been
You guys
hit
were
her-
so funny. That Powell
That
pet
was
peeve.
Powell
I was
pet-
really
like,
good.
shoot, let's redo this. We got to be funnier, guys.
We always close with our Powell pet peeves. So
Oh, okay.
go around the room.
Oh,
you
my
guys can share
goodness.
a Powell pet peeve, and then
I don't have power reviews.
I do.
We'll leave it for you.
I have one. I don't know if it's an actual like pet peeve though. I don't like spot checks. And the reason why is because it discriminates against mothers. When you're a mother, you're getting your children ready. I braid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 braids before grand entry. From the moment we wake up, we're getting dressed, getting ready for the powwow directly in our outfits. And then when they have spot checks, it's like, I finally sat down after making everybody get ready, making grand entry. I finally sat down and they do a spot check. I'm like, great. Or I'm like helping one kid get ready and on the side, and then they have the spot check. So I don't know if that's necessarily a spot check is where you get the announcer or the reading director like, we're having a spot check for anybody that's in.
they'll take your number down.
They'll take your number and you get extra points. And I was like, that's
Or
discriminatory.
when they say, hey, you better be in intertribal or there's
yeah.
going to be a spot check and there's no spot check. They like lie to you.
No, those are good Powell pet peeves.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Cece, you have
Mine is more for the food.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that too. Thank you.
Mine is more for the food.
It's like, I don't like it when the wait is so long to get food.
Yeah.
Lemonade stand.
The lemonade stand's always packed. Or also too, like when the beans are cold. I'm like, bruh. Like
waited
the fry bread is so
35
hot
minutes.
and it's so crispy. And then like you take a piece of the fry bread and dip it in the beans and the meat, and it's like all cold. And I'm like, ugh. I told Chanel yesterday, I was like, this actually was really, really good. Like the
we
fry
had
bread.
a Indian taco that
was
was
huge.
like this big.
I literally
yesterday.
made myself sick because I was eating so much of it. I was
the
like,
biggest one I've ever seen in my life.
no, it was literally like,
like a
the small
pizza.
of a large pizza. And we split it in half, but I ate so
The
much
plate
of
under
it.
it was like this.
Yeah, I had to
small.
go get another plate.
Hang it over.
We had to
Fold
get
it
another
in.
plate from
Yeah, we
the
folded
lady.
it up.
And like she cut my side because I had cheese and she didn't. And I was just like sitting, they were doing the specials. And I'm literally sitting there like that little rat from Ratatouille, the big one. His brother that eats everything, was his name Remy.
know his name.
And I was literally sitting there. I was so sick, but it
Josh
was
like,
so
I'm sick, you guys.
I seriously, we had to leave because I was sick because I could not stop eating. It was so good. So shout out to the
I think it was Big Sass.
the
It
four
was.
bears,
Yes, it
big
was.
sass fry. Shout out to you. Like you killed it with that
Yes.
fry bread, and the
Killed it.
beans were hot.
I gotta say, let me give a quick shout out. The people, one of the owners of Big Sass was Shoutout Powwow Supply, but he tans hides and he gave me 2 hides, one brain tan and one commercial that he smoked, but he gave them to me for free.
Wow.
That's
So
very
shout
generous.
out Shoutout Powwow Supply.
I love that.
Yeah,
Alyssa,
yeah, it was awesome.
I can't think of one right now. I don't know. I'll pass it on to you.
I've been thinking about this.
I've been waiting my whole life for this moment.
all the time.
Every
Waiting.
powwow, it's always got the same what I think is a problem. Haven't I didn't say anything yet.
well, you said what I think is a problem.
I think it's a problem.
He's very authoritative in that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a devil dog. That's why.
Yeah, there you go. Little personal pet peeve, yeah. Having all the specials and then wait until midnight to contest junior adults.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
That
know.
is tough.
You have
That's
to
really,
do your
really
time
tough.
as a junior adult. I'm now a senior adult, and I love going first.
It's really
Do your
tough.
time. Just kidding.
Getting out of there at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
tough.
It's
I
like-
feel like they should have the specials after all the contests.
Yeah, that's what we did with my mom and dad's memorial powwow.
Yeah.
Ran through all the contests and then the rest of the night specials. People who had to go, they went. People that stayed. So it's just
Yeah.
makes it much easier because
I like watching the specials. I feel like it would wake people up. Like if they changed it towards the end, I don't think you'd be tired for specials because it just like wakes you up. Like
Yeah.
you're motivated to.
Specials are exciting though.
Yeah, I think the specials are exciting. Like you're honoring, specific people, and you're not just out there dancing because you're tired. Like you're there, it's a special. Like you're giving your best. So I don't
that
know.
second wind.
That second win for
True.
Ira. He's like,
what's
I'm
your second
petitioning for a
Oh yeah, let's
change.
hear your other ones.
What's your other ones?
What other ones?
You
Your
you
other
had
pet peeves.
Other pet peeves.
Oh no, that was
He's like, that's the one.
the only one I could think of right now. Is the main
It'll
one.
come back to you.
He's
like,
all,
I
my pet
should've
peeve
said
is when I
this."
don't win.
Yeah. Let's go around the table again, and I'll come up with another one.
I
Did you
can
think of yours, Alyssa?
I can't think of one right now.
This is like, I just love power.
I just love how I'm just happy to be there.
just happy to be here.
Four Bears was rocking though. That was
Yeah,
Yes.
that was
it was
really
really good.
Yeah, shout out to Junior Baker and the crew. They
Right.
did an awesome job.
yeah.
Well, let's go around the table. Final thoughts and words. Some advice to give. Just give you your time.
Okay, some advice. Obviously, we already said it, but don't worry about what other people think of you. If you want to be an influencer, you have to stay consistent, especially in fashion. You have to keep posting and tagging and supporting the people that you like to shop from. Yeah, that's basically it. Keep going, keep posting, keep up on the trends.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a shout out to your social media where people can find you.
Oh, yes. I'm Chanel Anna with an underscore underneath on Instagram. I'm Chanel Anna G on TikTok.
Yeah. She's all, follow me.
Yeah, follow me.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. You actually, like, your content is like really good. Especially the lighting.
Well, I created a new TikTok actually too.
tell us about it.
Oh, it's like trying to date kind of TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Chanel is single.
Single
Yeah.
men that have their life
She's
together.
single.
She's
Chanel is a prize.
Don't embarrass me.
She's trying to put out.
No, we said we was gonna do that.
Lives together
I just
only.
do like story time.
Chanel, we finna put that out there. So to all the baddies out there,
Beautiful. She's a cook.
she makes habichuelas.
Okay,
She's a good mother.
Just slide in her DMs respectfully.
Anyone from MHA, hit her up.
She wants me to move
Just
here.
know we all have to approve. We all have to
Chanel North
approve.
Dakota.
There's an application process that we all go
Send
through.
it to LaurenGoodday@gmail.com.
For real.
With your photos.
With your photos.
And a
Submission.
3-line bio. For real.
And the power pet peeve.
Yeah, I know how I'm happy. Yeah. So I would say that some of my best advice that I've ever given is to have a really strong circle that has a very positive and protective sounding board. I think that in success, like you're not successful by yourself. You're only as successful as the people that you have with you. And so check your circle, check it a lot. There's nothing wrong with having small circles that are quality over quantity. And, you know, I said earlier, like what people's opinions and thoughts about you are none of your business. I think that that will save you a lot of turmoil and a lot of unnecessary pensive thinking about who you are as a person. And oh no, I just turned 40. Something happened on my birthday the morning of. I just grew into my frontal lobe a little bit more that day. It was really weird. You know, the air tasted and smelled differently. And I think it's just your wisdom coming, you know, out into the world. But I'd say half the time, like the way people move is just how they want to be loved and how they want to receive love. So be good to yourself and be good to others and move in that way. Think about, you know, what that looks like for you. And if it's not something positive, learning about yourself and loving yourself is key. I think that our world would be a lot different place if people understood like the value of self and who you are and yeah, and save your money. If you don't know how to manage money, reach out to friends that you know that do. And yeah.
If you got a rich homie, let them be rich.
No, for real. Like I think that's something in this room. Like we talk about money and investments and like what we're doing with our money. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's not really about, you know, buying Lamborghinis and mansions. It's really about creating generational wealth for our kids and our grandchildren. And so I think that's important. Have those conversations that we laugh about when we're like, oh, that's white people shit. Like, no, that needs to be our conversations too. And so, yeah, that's all my advice. Thank you for coming to my podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. No, I'm just kidding.
What's your social media?
Yeah, you can find me on social media just under Cece Meadows or Prado Beauty for all your makeup plug needs.
What about your podcast?
Oh yeah, my podcast is called the Chingona Chisme Hour. We talk a lot about like mental health. We talk a lot about success. We talk a lot about growth on there. It can be kind of triggering if you're not ready for that journey. Don't check it out, but it's really funny. It's really lighthearted. We put trigger warnings out if it's going to be a mentally taxing podcast, but really it's really about just dismantling the things that we carry. It's kind of like a form of free mental health. Plug in like resources and stuff for people to reach out if they need to. But my DMs are always open. And yeah, so, but yeah, and Cece Meadows on TikTok and Prado Beauty on TikTok. Watch our dance moves. Do a lot of dancing on TikTok. I'm trying to get her to do it. She did a really cute one 2 years ago, you guys. She will not let me post it.
Looked not cool.
No, you did. She looked so cute. She was just like, She did like the whole routine. And then she didn't even let me post it.
It wasn't on brand. I'm sorry.
No, for real, that was a personal part of her that people don't see, that she's fucking hilarious. Like, and she's so much fun. And I'm like, bruh, I'm just going to post it one day. I don't even care.
I'll be funny again.
In Santa Fe.
I'll be funny again once we're off the podcast.
So it's a start. It's a start.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lorena.
My message that I would like to tell to Native youth or Indigenous people, you don't even have to be a youth, is that you are so powerful and you have so much power in who you are and where you come from, and to love who you are and where you come from, and to find healing and to always better yourself, to be a good person and live by your values. I feel that we have our own individual and cultural experiences that are needed in this world. And I think that we all have a story to tell, and there's no one more better to tell it than you, and that we all have power. And that I feel like learning your culture, learning about who you are, don't ever feel that it's not for you. I feel that something that I had to come to terms with in just my little story was that, you know, I grew up a dancer, a powwow dancer. I grew up an artist, but I didn't grow up singing powwow. And so when I got into ceremony heavily in my early 20s is when I learned to sing. And I always felt like that's not for me. That's not who I was. That's not who I am. But it took me to come to terms. And I don't sing at powwows right now, but let me know if you need me. Anyone need a backup singer? I'm here. No, but I had to realize that this is for me. Our culture is for me. Our culture is for you as an Indigenous person. Just because your language skipped a generation or two, just because the singing or the powwow dancing skipped a generation, it is for you. Our cultural experiences go back generations before us. And because it skipped one, don't let that make you feel like our art isn't for you, that our culture isn't for you, because it is. And it just takes you to be able to go out and find those peoples, those knowledge bearers, those culture keepers, and learn from them. Don't ever give up, and always be positive in who you are. Always think positive. Whatever you put out into the universe will always come back to you, and you can achieve and do anything that you want in this world. But be positive and manifest it. And I think that's it. That's me. In a nutshell, that's Lauren Goodday. You can find me on social media.
Wait, first, before you say all that, can we talk about how you sing? Did you know this?
Oh, we better hear it.
Did you know
I
about
don't
this?
sing anywhere.
Did you know about this? Girl, I'm like, this is my best friend. And I'm just finding
Now
out.
you're going to
that-
make me sing?
No, when we're at home, when we get back to the house, you're gonna sing.
I will.
me.
I'll sing for you guys.
the car.
I feel like I can remember ceremony songs, but powwow songs are harder for me. And I don't know what it is, but I know that ceremony songs are way easier for me than that. But yeah, I can sing.
That's because you grew up with them.
Yeah.
Could be.
Okay, now tell them where they can find you.
Oh, okay. You can find me on social media at Lauren Goodday. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok a little bit. I get on there every once in a while, make an appearance. But I have a launch coming up on June 3rd. We just shot that today. It's what we're wearing. And then I have another launch coming up after that we showed at Santa Fe Indigenous or Native Fashion Week, which is a whole brand new collection as well, featuring organic and silk fabrics. So it's going to be amazing.
And your earring collection.
Oh, and an earring collection. I have more home stuff coming out. I have a collab in the works.
June 6th, JCPenney.
Yep, June 6th, JCPenney. Beginning of June is going to be a big week for us.
Yeah.
So awesome.
So exciting.
Alyssa?
So my name is Alyssa. So one thing I always hold close to my heart is whatever you focus on grows. And I really try to apply it being a mother, being an artist. So I really try to apply that to my life. And it's really taking me far because I really try to fill my environment with positivity and good feeling from those people. I don't know what else to say, really. You guys had a lot of great things to say, and I'm just really grateful to be here, supporting my friends, I've never been on a podcast before either. And, this is like a total new experience.
You open the box. We're going to be on so many podcasts now.
It's definitely a huge experience. And I think you just got to be ready for whatever life throws you and just live in your purpose, and sometimes it does just take one person to just tell you, like, you were made for this. And with these amazing women and these amazing people, they have really shown me that I could do anything. I'm capable of these things. And I'm so grateful for the love and support when I go back home and, I have people telling me how proud they are of me. And also seeing the joy from my son, seeing me on, in pictures, in Vogue and, on TV, things like that. So it's a really huge, rewarding feeling for me. And I'm not sure what else to say. I'm just really, really grateful in this moment. And I'm excited to see what else comes our way. We're just scratching the surface.
Yep.
We're literally just, beginning these amazing journeys and all supporting each other. And
Where can you find your beadwork at?
Yeah.
you can find my beadwork at Sangoy Art. And I post a lot of my beadwork, things for sale. I do have a website as well. It's sangoyart.com. And just search my name. It's Alyssa Sangoy. And
How do you spell that?
it is SONGOI and then art.
Yes. Because she's an artist, baby.
And I am 26. I don't know a whole lot of, I'm just learning as I go. I feel really young, still just finding my way through life. And I just learn from these experiences that come my way. So.
Awesome. Well, glad to be the first podcast here for you.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, and Chanel, of course.
Yeah.
yes.
Of course, we're going to go to Ira. He's still here.
My first podcast as well.
Oh,
Thank you
Yeah.
for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
I guess I kind of want to start off by saying, I don't know if anyone in this room knew, but I'm running on 2 hours of sleep.
Oh, man.
But with the energy that's been going on today, helped me push through. Spent today with a lot of great people. Made a lot of good memories. I forgot what I was going to say after that. But I did take some notes because I do manage to get distracted. So the first one I put down is to surround yourself with like-minded people. That's kind of one of the points I was trying to make earlier. People that want to see you succeed, people that you want to succeed, and just help each other grow. A pretty common saying, especially in the military, is iron sharpens iron. And very firm believer in that. Just be with people. It might not be the people that you grew up with. It could be people far away. But eventually, you guys just keep rooting for each other and wanting each other to succeed. You'll go far. If you manifest that, that's a big thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Lauren's huge on that.
Yep. My second point was optimism.
Yes.
So I try to be an optimistic person, no matter how bad a situation may be. I'm very strong in my beliefs and my values. I believe that there's always a reason, and even a good reason, in bad things. So if you can see the world in that way, I feel like life would be less stressful and bring you way more peace. My third one said, take time to appreciate where you are in your journey, no matter what or where you may be. I know a lot of people probably get caught up in where they want to be, but they don't take time to appreciate how far they've come from where they started. I know, like me personally, a small one, I could say is my lifting journey. It's like, I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but myself a year and a half ago when I started, I could have never thought that I'd be where I am today. Next one, I kind of live by this one, is don't stress about what you can't control. That's pretty.
I need to practice that one.
I feel like a lot of people do, to be honest.
Add a bell when we get to that one. That's the truth, bro.
Yeah, it's a lot of people worry too much about things that are out of their span of control. And when you think about it, it's not doing anything. It's wasting your time and your energy. But in the end, you can't do anything about it. So what are you gaining from that? You're definitely losing more than what you're getting. So I don't know. Me personally, my time is valuable. So I don't want to feed into that.
Yeah.
Then the last one, I want to leave this, I feel like it's pretty applicable to daily life, is do things to take care of your mental health. I know that's a pretty big thing. It's always been, but I know a lot of people probably suffer in silence from that. People don't speak up enough. Simple things, just like drink water. You know, that's beneficial in every way possible. Work out, even if it's just like doing cardio. You don't have to push heavy weights, but do cardio. Do something that's beneficial for you. It's gonna help you in life. Just small things. All it does is cost time. There's no money involved. And then just be one with nature too. That's where we come from. That's where our people originated from. That's where eventually we'll all go back to. But there's so much peace in that. And I feel like a lot of people could use that. Just take some time to themselves, or even with friends, being one with nature and just enjoying what life has to offer outside of everything that goes on in day-to-day life.
Yeah, there has to be a balance in everything. Even, for me, just stepping away from the beating table, going to work out, just taking care of your mental health and physical health is so important.
True.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Ira, 23-year-old, teaching everybody here.
With all the facts at the end.
I know, right? He dropped all the gems. I should have took notes. I'm definitely going to listen back because...
Just fast forward to this part.
I know, right?
It's at number... No, just kidding. Well, we'll start with Ira. We'll go shout-outs back this way, and then we'll close it up.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. I don't even know.
He's like, I don't know what my Instagram handle is. He's like, just look me up, Ira.
Tonez, yeah. Basically, it's just
Ira.
my name.
The Ira.
Nah.
The one and only Ira.
He's like, I'm going to change my social media to the Ira.
Yeah. It helps
is it?
a
It's
lot.
like, yeah.
I'm under 2,000 followers compared to 200,000 over here.
You'll get there.
After today, I don't know.
I literally
Just keep
doubled
tagging
my
you.
followers in 1 year working with Lauren.
Yeah.
I'll get there one day.
You will.
You will soon, Ira. What is
You gotta post everything. Everything is content. This right here is content.
This is
We need a
content.
group pic before we're done.
I just turn everything into stories. I don't
That helps a lot,
know.
but-
But they don't show up on the algorithm. You gotta put it on the feed. Even if
Oh,
you
my
feel
phone died.
cringy. Because I feel like a lot of people are
phone
like,
died.
that's cringy. But
What's
just do it.
Ira's handle? He doesn't even know it.
Ira Hayalk. I just looked it up.
Oh, okay. It's just Ira Hayal.
Hey, he's got
Yeah.
another one on here that I don't know.
That's my Finsta.
Oh my God.
What does that mean?
And just a
I'm
spam.
like, that's how I know you're young.
So you only
That-
follow
that's like my personal.
Oh.
That's why it's private.
You're like
But if you want to
follow
follow that, you can follow
I'm gonna
that
follow
too.
it right now.
Okay.
I want to see.
Are you
Oh.
going to
Hip rat
approve me?
things.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to follow if you don't approve me.
I approve everyone and follow back.
Herman
on that.
Hayalk, it says.
He's all, I approve and follow back.
Well, I have 2 Instagrams.
Do you
But
really?
No, you
Oh,
already
yeah.
know.
She's like, yeah.
My personal one
Oh, yeah. And her business one.
and the business, all straight business.
She's all business in front, party in the
Party
back.
in the back.
She's got a mullet.
A mullet on Instagram.
Oh, there it is. All right, yeah. If you guys want to, you can.
I just requested
I
it.
approve and follow back everyone. I don't think a lot of people know that, but I also don't post
I'm
too much
definitely
on there.
following that.
Oh, you don't.
You need to.
Yeah, we're gonna find out the real Ira
Yeah.
on there.
We're gonna
It's
figure
almost
you
nothing
out.
different.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's posting the same picture.
He's like cross-posting.
Well, shout outs to anybody? Your mom?
Oh yeah. Shout out to my mom, my pops, I don't even call him pops. I don't know why I said that. My dad.
My dad, Daddy L.
Yeah, definitely my mom though. She's the one that got me here. I didn't really grow up with my dad. I know him. I keep in touch with him all the time. He just he lives on the East Coast. But yeah, my mom got me to where I'm at today. All the good things you guys said about me, I give credit to her for that. I think she knows that. She's the one that's always pushed me to be who I am today, why I do the things the way I do them.
Yeah.
And she's so proud.
She is.
I have video. I have a literal video of your mom just beaming.
Yeah. Thank you to all you guys here helping me in any way, no matter what you guys have done. I always think of things as a learning experience. I would say for good or bad, but there hasn't been any bad experiences with this group today, might I add. Yeah, I appreciate everyone.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for coming here with us. I invited him on the podcast. I was like, you want to do the podcast with us? I thought he was going to say, nah. And he's like, sure. And I was like, okay.
I was thinking about saying no.
Nah, we wouldn't have let you. We'd have been like, you're coming with us.
You gotta take the whole experience.
Yeah, I'm glad I did.
Alyssa?
I would like to give a shout out to my cute little son, Pijapi. His name means red paint in our Numa language. So I would just like to give a shout out to him because he's my number one motivation for everything I do. Everything I put out is for my son. And I love him with all my heart. And I would also like to give a shout out to my other half, Anthony, for always believing in me, supporting me, and, you know, for being an amazing artist that I can also look up to and who inspires me each day to continue just doing what I love. And giving a shout out to Lauren as well. Not even going to lie, I could even just talking about Lauren and the experiences that have come my way because of her, it can get me emotional. I will get emotional because I'm so grateful for everything that has come my way, for giving me this confidence that I never thought I had, and for just being that big support group or support system, you know, someone that I could rely on. And I'm so thankful that I can call her a friend as well, and for the relationships that I've, you know, created because of her. So I would just like to give a huge shout out to her as well. She's such a powerful, empowering woman. And so I think, you know, it's so awesome to see women succeed, and let's all just support each other. You know, let's create, you know, that community of women that, you know, can do anything. So I would just like to give a shout out to Lauren.
Oh, thank you. Well, you are such an amazing woman too. And that's why I bring you on to all these opportunities, and you deserve to be here. You're doing like most of the work. You're the beautiful one, modeling.
And shout out to me.
Just kidding.
I'd like to thank me.
I like to thank me. Yeah.
The star of everything.
That's me. I'll be like, I want to shout out myself.
Just myself.
I want to thank
We'll jump
me.
over to Chanel.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not good with my words, but I'm gonna try. Shout out to my babies. They're always watching me. I go home, I show them all my content. They love to see what I'm doing. They know I'm here to do pictures. They tell their school that I'm gone to take pictures. So I just love them. So shout out to them. Shout out to my mom for always watching them. She has to come from New York to Florida every time I travel. So I know it's a lot. So I'm really thankful for her. And shout out to all my girls. I keep that girl friendship like so strong, like over anything that's, I don't know. I just love having my girlfriends. So Lauren, Cece, they've been here for me for like some serious moments. And I'm really thankful for them. Like as a mother, you go through a lot, and I don't know how I would get through some things without them. Don't get emotional. I'm gonna get emotional. I can't. But I'm really thankful for them, and also my girls back home too. They support me through anything. Like even if it's just a share on social media, like they're always down for me. I'm so grateful for them, for real. But yeah, that's it. I can't. I don't want to get emotional. Go.
I will seriously.
Your turn.
Oh, no. I'm all.
Just crying.
Next we have Cece.
He's like, first time on the podcast, you have a crier. No, I'm just kidding. No, I just like I get really emotional when women love each other.
Yeah.
Yes. And you know, I'm like a huge advocate for women loving each other, like truly loving each other. I feel like the most powerful thing in the world is when women love themselves and women love other women. Mm-hmm. Like the cards are stacked so high. So high. Mm-hmm. But when you have like-minded individuals who love themselves and love you, I truly, truly feel like you are unstoppable. And so I want to give a shout out to my babies. I love my babies so much. Everything that I do is for them. I grew up in a very, very tumultuous, very generationally, just damaged type home. And that was really heavy for me. And I had to go through I'm a cancer survivor, and I had to go through some of the darkest times of my life to heal, to get to where I'm at right now. And that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life, but I'm so grateful for it every single day, because if it wasn't for that experience, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. And so I talk about my kids a lot, and everything that I do is for them, because I want them to be, they're not even the harvest, they're the seed. And the seeds that they are going to plant this beautiful harvest that I'm going to get to be a grandmother of. And that's the thing that motivates me the most. I also want to shout out my husband, who is deployed right now, for always believing in me and allowing me to not just dream, but be someone who walks in action. Because there's so many spouses out there who don't let their wives go out and be great. But I'm so lucky that I have a husband who just lets me go out and be great. Yes.
And to my best friend Teresa back home, who takes care of my kids, I'm like, Chanel, we don't trust anybody with our kids. And if we can't go somewhere because our mom or because my best friend can't watch them, we don't go. And so every time I go somewhere, I tell her I'm not just doing it for me, I'm also doing it for her. And I'd also want to shout out Chanel and Lauren and also Alyssa for being a great friend group, and allowing me to be myself. I have a professional side to me, but I'm also just really thuggy and wild, guys.
We know. Don't have to explain that.
Just kidding. I'm just really thuggy and wild. But especially to Lauren, she's my best friend, and her and I have had many, many conversations about, walking this life in this world and who we are as mothers and as women and as partners, and not just healing the people around us, but healing ourselves. And she's such a great example. I always say I want the world to know her, but then I don't.
Yes.
I don't want to share her with the world. I'm like, no, she's not your best friend. She's
don't get too close.
Yeah, for real. I'm so protective of her because I see the things that she's had to work through, and
how
things
hard she's had to work.
Right, and the things that she's taught me how to be resilient and overcome in a lot of hard parts of this life. So I'm thankful for you, and I'm thankful for you being here. I'm thankful for your art and your craft, and I'm thankful that not just as my best friend, but also as a business partner, and that we get to do cool shit and just represent and like just go out there and win. Like I'm thankful for that.
Stay winning.
We stay winning, baby. It's funny because we say like we're besties because we're the best.
You're not supposed to tell people.
No, I'm telling everybody. Listen, y'all. Let me put you on some game right here. When you think about Lauren Goodday and Cece Meadows. Oh my God. But no, I'm just playing. But really. No.
She's like she's thuggy, but she's also the female DJ Khaled over there.
We the best. We the best. So we the best.
We're the best.
Awesome.
You better plug that. That's the intro for the podcast. Hey, oh my God. This is the funny part.
So she said thuggy, that just came out right there. She was all like business, casual, professional, thuggy, just like the lights went low. There was like a foggy haze that came through.
You heard gunshots in the back, and I'm just kidding. Shout out to my
Where did that
Compton
40
East
come
LA
from?
family. No, thank you, really. And thank you for having me on the podcast, for having us on the
is
podcast.
awesome.
Giving us a
Experience.
platform.
Yeah.
Thank you. Y'all are helping me out too, and I appreciate it so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
We'll all tag each other.
Yeah. I'd love to follow and repost and all the good things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We are going to drop this on launch day.
Awesome. Perfect.
Perfect.
June 3rd.
June 3rd, baby.
LaurenGoodday.com.
Tune in.
But yeah, we go with Lauren over here.
I want to shout out all my supporters, everyone that purchases my work. And if you can't purchase, if you share, like, comment 4 words or more, because that's what the algorithm actually picks up on.
No emojis.
And sharing. Like, I literally could not continue on doing what I do and creating if I didn't have the army of people that support me and buy my work and allow me to keep making new art, new collections, and telling the stories that I want to tell and, creating my visions, bringing my visions to life. I really feel like I'm so grateful for everyone that has ever purchased anything from me, that has ever, shared some good words with me, kind words. And if you see me in person, like, say hello. I'm really grateful for everyone that supports me. And that even leads me on to my circle that I have here. Like, all of my models are my inner circle. You guys are the ones that, like, I look up to, and I think you guys are worthy, awesome role model human beings. And I keep you guys close because I think so much of you, and you guys are amazing people. And I think, like, it's so important that we have good people in our corners, people that we can trust, people where there's no animosity, people that truly support you, that don't get jealous, that you want to help each other grow, help each other discover new things, travel together, have fun together, people you can trust, have trust in. So I feel like the models that I keep around, my friends that I have around me, that I surround myself with, are very intentional. I'm very intentional with everything that I do. And I'm so grateful for the good people that, I've found in this lifetime. I also want to give a shout out to my children. I feel like it's so cliche, like every mother shouts out their children, but when you become a parent, which Ira will soon have a baby here.
A couple months.
Yeah, you'll realize like how important our next generation is and how to fulfill them and love them and teach them, all the beautiful things in life. And I just want what's best for my children and all Indigenous youth. I love our babies, and I just think it's so beautiful, and I want them to find self-pride in who they are and their culture. And I'm just so grateful for my children and Indigenous youth. And I just feel like we have so much more living to do. We have so much more beautiful things to create. And I kind of feel like we're this bridge between the past and the future is happening now. And, you know, if we keep teaching our children these good things, that I can't wait to see what all of our children will do one day. So, you know, I also want to shout out MHA Nation. I always say I'm MHA all day because I'm so proud of our people, and I'm so proud of where I come from and everything that we do and everything that we are and the traditions that we uphold. I feel like we're a powerful people. And I'm so grateful. Like I'm grateful for all Indigenous people. So shout out everybody.
Awesome. Well, awesome stuff, y'all. Thank y'all for coming in. I know you guys had a long day. I was running off for 2 hours of sleep over there.
I did not know that.
It's getting warm, so you might be snoring soon.
I didn't hear.
But yeah, I want to give a shout out to my co-hosts, Jude, Tonez, and Zoe. Jude is actually down in California.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he wants to be a comedian. Funny guy.
Nice.
So he's actually going to school for it. So I told him, I was like, man, just do it.
Cool.
What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
So shout out to my bro Jude. I'm proud of him. We all are proud of him.
I get to go check out his show.
So
Is he doing like improv or?
I'm not too sure, but we honestly, before you left, we were gonna do a roast.
Okay.
But we never got a chance to. So, but
How long
we
was he down there for?
I don't know. I'm not too sure.
I didn't even think about that. He wasn't at the pub, but you're right.
But
I
yeah.
remember he was funny.
You're like, he was all right.
I think I'm funnier though.
I'm funnier though.
And of course, Tonez and Zoe, and then of course my bro LB Lawrence Baker is another one of our co-hosts too. But again, all the guests that we've had on, shout out to all y'all. Y'all were amazing, taking time to kind of help me build this dream too. And that's what it takes. They talked about a support system, and that's what we need is a support system for all our Indigenous people. But again, shout out to everybody that's out there listening, watching. Thank you all. And I'm going to say thank you again, Lauren, for coming on, Cece, Chanel, Alyssa, Ira, everybody that's tuning in. Thank you all. You guys have the best anything in your life. May your journey be blessed.
Yes. Many blessings.
But yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.
Way to go, Dave. Thanks.
Thank you.